in Major League Baseball, had the number right here, since 1895. The worst 50-game start, Lance, since 1895.
I mean, it's really not a surprise. And
1895 is a pretty big surprise, though.
Well, I'm just talking about the way they have been playing lately and how just dominated they have been. The individual I was talking to last Saturday, that's all he's doing.
Oh, he's going against the Rockies?
He's betting a heavy amount against the Rockies. It's so funny, though, because last Saturday they lost after he told me that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've won since. So Colorado currently at 8-42. They have lost 5 straight, 1-9 in their last 10. They're 23 games back.
Man, I mean, that is – I mean, you just to not even be out of May and your season is over is so depressing, I would imagine, for a fan base. I mean, there are probably a lot of fan bases that think their season's over. You know it's over when you're the Colorado Rockies, and you really weren't even out of April before you knew
Only
that.
one entity in all of baseball that appreciates this, and that's the Chicago White Sox, who are awful.
Right.
They're 17.5 back right now at 15-35, but nobody's talking about the White Sox.
Like we did last year, we talked about the White Sox almost every weekend. So that's the Colorado Rockies by star. In baseball, though, there was a heartwarming moment that came at the Braves' expense last night. It is our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day. And you can go by and enjoy Bow Time at Bojangles. From sweet to heat, Bojangles got 7 sauces that will add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than the hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. Add some tang with barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles. Order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bow Time. Keibert Ruiz, not a household name for Major League Baseball fans. He's a Washington National. They played the Braves last night. He had an RBI double to right field off the wall in the first inning. Otherwise, wouldn't have made any news whatsoever, except for the fact that the 26-year-old was playing the first game ever in America with his mom and dad in the stands.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
His first at bat with mom and dad in the stands. And he does that.
You see these, you probably don't see them as much as we think.
Yeah.
Because when it gets brought up, you're like, oh, I remember somebody else doing this.
Yeah, a lot of times it's a home run. This was a double, but still, first at bat with the parents in stands.
Pretty awesome.
The Nationals, I saw some video of this. I wasn't watching the game live. Saw some video of this, though. The Nationals broadcast on MASN was showing the fans, showing the mom and dad, and, they're all into it. Dad with the arm around mom, like, settle down, and then he gets the hit. Really, really cool when you see that. And it's always a heartwarming story. By the way, it's so weird that this question came up, but just in the last hour, this was a question asked from our audience of Furman. Just in the last hour, Pirates front office saying no plans whatsoever to trade Paul Skeens. Don't even ask.
Look, I mean, ultimately they will lose him. There is no doubt.
I mean, he'll go in free agency, so they'll probably have to trade him before that just to get something out of it.
But
right?
it blows me away that this is even a conversation. He is getting no run support. It is, along with the Rockies, the worst offensive team in all of baseball. And, I think his last outing, he lost 1-0. He pitches later today against the Brewers. He's just getting no run support. I mean, the numbers, I think he's got 170 strikeouts, 133 innings. Still got like a 2.5, 2.6 ERA. Why would you trade arguably one of the top 5 starters right now in Major League Baseball?
If next year was his free agency year, I could see it, because you're not going to get it. You're not going to sign him, so you get something out of him in a trade, right? You trade him to a team that hopes to sign him, but not right now. I don't think there's any way you do it right now.
I mean, that's one of the few things that Pirates fans look forward to. And they only get it every 5 days.
I know, every 5 days. Over on the Disrupt the Media side of things on YouTube, the Meltdown coming up at 2 o'clock. What we have on there today, Tim Melton, with you and Tyler and EG.
We will have reviews of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and Lilo and Stitch. And EG will be talking about all the reasons why she had a Subway restaurant birthday party when she was 4 years old with the Lilo and Stitch theme. We'll be talking about that.
One of the more random facts EG's given us. She had her birthday party at Subway.
I remember McDonald's having birthday parties.
Yeah, never Subway.
Never Subway.
Yeah. All right, that's coming up at 2 o'clock on The Meltdown. Thank you for joining us. Have a very safe weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend, so remember all those that have paid the ultimate price for our freedom, and we appreciate their service and their families' service. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back Tuesday at 9 a.m. Have a great weekend.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
100 days until the start of the NFL season. We'll talk a little NFL football today. Ronald Acuña is back in a big way, big series for you Braves fans. We'll set the table for that tonight, and a ton of college football to get to, including our 40 and 40 countdown, which continues today at number 31 after the Memorial Day weekend. But we start with the SEC meetings going on down on the Gulf Coast. Greg Sankey had the podium yesterday, and he was talking college football playoffs, what's best for the SEC, what's best for the sport, and everything intertwined together there. LT, D&B with you, everybody behind the glass. Taylor Corn handling social media for us at Next Round Live. Thumbs up wherever you get the program, like and subscribe. Tyler, let's start with cut one, and we'll get the reaction to these guys on some of what was described by Andy Staples and others as an angry to pissed off Greg Sankey.
Grumpy Greg. We've seen Grumpy Greg.
I think, the more Greg is into this SEC and expansion and everything, he gets grumpier and grumpier.
This is a lot on the plate for the most powerful man in college sports. Here's Greg Sankey getting asked about what's good for the conference and good for the game and how that intersects with the college football playoff moving forward.
You're sort of, again, in a position of thinking about the greater good of college football. That was talked about a lot from other commissioners last week when there was some decision seating. How do you balance what is best for the SEC with what is best for maybe giving up a little bit for the SEC would be better for the whole?
Look at the track record. We didn't need 12. Did we stayed at 4, we would have had half the 4 last year. I don't need lectures from others about good of the game. I don't lecture others about good of the game. And coordinating press releases about good of the game. Again, okay, you can issue your press statement, but I'm actually looking for ideas to move us forward. So Ralph, I'll go back and say, I thought the 12-team design was really well considered at the time.
So that was Greg Sankey there talking about what's good for the game. Now, when I was gone, there were some joint statements sent out that did not include Greg Sankey in the SEC that has rubbed the head man the wrong way.
Yeah, Lance and I laughed at these in the moment because it was so obvious what was going on. But you had ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips and Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark both send out a press release almost at the same time, maybe at the same time. He said coordinated it. I can't tell you exactly if they hit the same time, but both of them said the same thing. We are on board with the decision the college football playoff has made, which, by the way, is to strip it's to go with the straight seeding is what they're calling it. Straight seeding, the 1 through 4, that's going to be your top 4 seeds. And both of them said in course of the press release, though this is not in the best interest of the ACC or though this is not in the best interest of the Big 12, we're on board with it. And we knew then, we talked about it, we knew then, Sankey's not going to like that. I mean, that was a complete shot at Sankey and Petiti.
But look, Sankey is right.
Yep.
First of all, he shouldn't really, honestly, he shouldn't care for what's good for the game. He's supposed to protect his brand in his conference. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if it was 2 in the BCS, if it was 4, if it's 12, the majority of the teams are always going to be in the SEC, the Big Ten. Everybody's going to get behind the 4-4-2-2-1-3 model. It's just the way we're heading right now. So, and ultimately, cream rises to the top. Doesn't matter how many teams you've got there, year in, year out. I really, maybe this year is one of those off years where the ACC and Clemson can win a championship, but 9 out of 10 years, it feels like it's going to be SEC or Big Ten.
That's why what they said, Brownie, the ACC and the Big 12 commissioner, is a lie. It's BS. It was what was good for them to do that for the ACC or the Big 12 because they very easily could be cut out of this and their conferences could be absorbed by the Big 10 and the SEC. So when they say this may not be good for the ACC or the Big 12, It is, because it keeps you alive.
Well, it does, but to Sankey's point, like going to 12 wasn't necessarily what was best for the SEC. Like to his point, what would it have been last year if we didn't have 12? What do you realistically think it would have been?
Texas would have gotten in even with a loss, and then Georgia.
I think so. It would have been Oregon, Texas, Georgia,
and Ohio State. Notre Dame would have been left out.
You think so? I don't know.
No.
Ohio State losing that last game, I don't think they would have got in.
Good point.
It's easy in hindsight.
Good point with Michigan.
I think it's Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now what it would have been.
I think it would have been
looking at it.
Oregon, Texas, Georgia, Notre Dame. I think would have been your 14
Great
Lance. I mean,
it would have been Oregon, Georgia, Texas. I mean, it's either Penn State or Notre Dame. Penn State was 4 on the final poll, coming off the loss at 11-2.
Yeah.
Notre Dame was 5.
They did play in the Big Ten championship.
Notre Dame was 1 loss. But it was
Notre Dame was 1 loss.
Northern Illinois. It's
really
a bad loss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would have had controversy. Penn State actually probably gets in.
Yeah. But with all that said, you'd have had definitely Georgia and Texas. Those two were not getting left out.
But all those people, none of them are in the ACC or the Big 12.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's Sankey's point. Like, all going to 12 did was have more teams, but we would have still had half the playoffs.
But the fact of the matter is, in your final rankings, your highest ranked team from those two conferences was SMU at 10. They weren't even close.
That's right. Not even close.
Yeah.
And that gets us to the second bite from Greg Sankey, cut number 2, Tyler. He says within his own league, it was never unanimous for the SEC to vote yes of going to 12. Here's cut number 2, Tyler.
We never had a unanimous vote to support the 12-team playoff. Even though I was involved in that work, that didn't mean everybody in this league, when we were at 14, thought it was the best idea. But you engage in that type of problem solving. Our 8 or 9 game schedule, that goes back to really 2018. We've been talking about eliminating divisions from 2018 forward, and we expanded. So it became a different conversation, and the shape of that conversation has changed over time. We have to make a decision. The CFP and my colleagues have to understand there's something different here. We all play college football. And so while you ask that of me, I'll go back and say, we didn't need a 12-team college football playoff. Thought it was good for the game. I was involved in that. Others held it up. I thought it was important to get after that work in a time-efficient manner, yet we held up, and then we went fast. We didn't go slow so we could go fast. We didn't do anything, and then we went fast without solving some of the other elements.
So the SEC did that for the good of the game, and people keep throwing out, the fairness of schedules. Sankey makes a point that if you look every year at the power rankings in college football, sometimes, not last year, sometimes the SEC has maybe one team that's lower than 65 or 66 in the power rankings. He says, while the other conferences, all the other conferences, have bunches of teams below 65 or 66 in the power rankings, they sometimes have one below that the rigor of the SEC schedule because of that is different and should be judged differently. He didn't think last year that the selection committee did a good job of judging strength of schedule, leaving out either Alabama, Ole Miss, or Missouri, whoever you want to pick out of the SEC. That's why the SEC folks are in favor of a certain number of automatic bids for the conferences, and they're getting pushback from people like the ACC and the Big 12 on those 4 auto bids.
Well, and look, the fact of the matter is you also want more money, right? I mean, like a billionaire is not going to turn down another $1 million. Billionaires still invest. They still acquire assets because they want to make more and more money. Look, the SEC wants more and more teams in this thing. I get it. And look, it's...
But they deserve more teams.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily bad for the game. I mean, we are heading towards a professional model. And I don't think there's any denying it. I think we are going to get to a point, I don't know when it's going to be, where we have 2 super conferences.
Yeah. Greg Sankey said he's interested, not committed, in what is being perceived now as the Big Ten Tony Petitti model of 4 auto bids from the SEC and the Big Ten and play-in models, to where going by just conference standings, take the selection committee out of it, and you're 1 and 2 are automatically in. Your 3 plays 6, your 4 plays 5. He's interested.
So Sankey's interested in that.
Interested,
Okay.
not committed is the conversation.
All right, but he's interested.
He's
You're
interested.
telling me there's a chance.
Not committed. And
I mean,
and he's interested in,
well,
16 teams. Interested, not committed.
yeah. When I ran that up the flagpole by some people within the SEC, one of the first reactions I got was, I can't see a model where we make the 3 seed have to win another game.
So it'd be lower than the 3 seed.
Well, I think there might be an appetite for a 4 or 5 game.
Yeah.
But I the people I talked to anyway within the SEC were like, I just don't see how you get everybody behind. I have played a 12-game schedule, and I might have the same record as a team that went to Atlanta, right? Yeah. But for some reason, I miss out on a tiebreaker. I didn't even play that team. I miss out on a tiebreaker, right? But I got the same record as a team that went to Atlanta, and now I got to play another game to get in this thing, and they're guaranteed to be in.
Yeah, but
I'm only in that other game because I lost a tiebreaker.
But that 1 and 2 is playing another game, so everybody that's going to the playoffs can play the extra game.
But they're guaranteed in, and the 3 seed is not. Now the 3 seed's got to go win another game, and I had the same record as that 2 seed.
But if you don't make them play a game, then that's a benefit to be 3 at that point. You're punishing 1 and 2 by playing that other game.
Well, maybe so.
3 stays at home, and 4 and 5 are playing for the 4th spot.
Yeah.
That's not
fair. I just told you though that was the reaction I got from a lot of SEC people. It's like I could see a 4 versus 5 game. A 3-6 game might be a hill too far for me.
One more from Greg Sankey after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Way to Wellness. Your journey to healthy living. You can jump on board right now and let Leslie and her board-certified team take care of you. Weight loss, lower cholesterol, a variety of things they can do for you. It's Way to Wellness. Planforme.com is the website. Go check it out right there. Injection therapy, meal replacements. They've got protein bars that I use every day to supplement between healthy lunches and dinners. It's just fantastic with no contracts, no sign-up fee, and the first consultation is absolutely free. Way to Wellness. Your journey to healthy living. Planforme.com is the website. Also by our friends at Hemphill. They bring you Lance's Lock every day. How you been doing since I've been gone?
We almost had a perfect 9-0 weekend until last night. We had freaking OKC -3. I don't know if you guys saw how that thing ended.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
how
it.
you don't get a foul on the Anthony Edwards miss there was pretty crazy the way that thing played out. Anyway, still really good weekend. Jump on board. Win with us. We will have NBA and Major League Baseball action up and available tonight at lanceslock.com. Free play every single day. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. You experience any of those around your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
All right, so Greg Sankey, who is the guy in charge of a 16-team power conference, but he's the most powerful man in college athletics. We saw that during the pandemic when he basically, beat science and played a college football season. The man beats science. So he's powerful.
I never could beat science.
Yeah, here's Greg Sankey on how tough it is, serving his league and also trying to be, the guy that shepherds where college football is headed in the playoff era. Yesterday from our friends at On3 Sports down in Destin as the SEC meetings kick off.
I have a responsibility to push as well. And I think my membership has a responsibility and the desire to push me. And that is a hard issue. If you want to go inside what it's like to sit in this role, I think about the responsibility I have here. And I think about the responsibility more broadly all the time. Yesterday I said that we don't apologize here. I'm proud we have 13 teams. I wish it was 14 in baseball. I'm proud of what we did in men's basketball. I'm proud that we have, I think it's 5 of 8. Is it 5 of 8 in softball? I actually think that can make other people better too. And when I go back to the college football playoff, I'm open to ideas. There's just not a lot of incoming. My phone's not ringing off the hook with, hey, here's another way to look at it. And so we'll continue to be thoughtful. We'll continue to try to provide perspective and information to our members and help them guide the decision. And ultimately, I recognize I'm the one who ends up typically in front of the podium explaining not just myself, but ourselves. So good luck to me.
It's what you get paid for, my man.
Hey,
It's what you get paid for.
Gets paid a lot to do
Good
it.
luck for me. He brings up a point there that I wanted to hit here in the first segment. 13 of 16 teams made the college baseball tournament. More on that later. Auburn's in a good position. Alabama's a 2 seed in Hattiesburg. Auburn doesn't have to leave Auburn to go to Omaha. But 13 of 16 made it. In softball, after the whole league virtually made it, 5 of 8 still playing when they go to Oklahoma City to finals. 5 of the 8 out there.
Okay.
In basketball, what was the number again? Was it
14?
Yeah,
Was it
14.
in the
14
league?
of 16 made the NCAA
Yeah.
tournament? Why are we concerned in the SEC in college football about automatic bids? Because we've seen in these others that there's only one automatic bid in each of those sports, that it takes care of itself, that the cream rises to the top. Why are we worried or concerned in the college football spectrum that the SEC would not somehow float to the top and have plenty of teams, more than what the automatic bids are going to be? Because if there's 16 teams and there's 4 automatic bids for the SEC, if they go to the 16 best teams, do we not think 5 of those would be from the SEC?
Yeah,
are we going to limit ourselves?
You know, it's just SEC fatigue. We've had it for 20 years, right? And it's not going to change.
So the fear is that somehow they would screw the SEC because of the fatigue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The selection committee would.
Probably so, and I think more so, and this isn't fair to these other sports, but the second biggest sport in America right now is college football.
100%.
Yeah, and when you look across the board and you see nothing but the SEC and the Big Ten dominating this thing, you know, there are other people around the country that are like, hey, we need more of a balance. It's better for the sport. Well, does it really matter? If you get more teams in, it's not like they're going to win.
Yeah, and we get used to the NFL system, which only has 32 teams with a ton of parity. We get used to the NFL system where it's balanced. Each division gets a winner in, and then everything just goes by standings after that, right? There's clear tiebreakers.
Well, and realistically,
I was
there was a dude with a Cooper Cup jersey on at the lake this week. It was
that's random.
The sleeves cut, and I had a Ram shirt on.
Cut off sleeves.
Yeah. Good kid. But anyway, he had a big group.
What drink did he order when you bought it for him?
I was about to buy him when I really was. But they yelled over at me because I had a Ram shirt on as well. And I went over there and I was talking. And anyway, this kid was going, Duval, a big Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Yeah, and he was trying to, man, I'm telling you, we're going to be good this year with Liam Cohen. I was like, Liam Cohen ain't a good coach, but whatever. But my point there is all these 32, every fan base feels like they got a fighting shot. This is not college. That is realistic in the NFL.
It is.
It is not realistic in college football, and it never will be realistic. It goes back to the media guides that we talked about when they were like, oh, you can only have 120 pages because competitive advantage. There are certain programs and now certain conferences that will always have a competitive advantage. It will never change.
Yeah, it's just the way the sport works. And I mean, we don't have a balance in this sport, so you can't force balance either. Like, do you really think if you just said, all right, everybody gets the same amount of teams in, that the Big 12 and the ACC would be as good as the SEC and the Big 10? No, they wouldn't.
They're just going to lose earlier.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They would just have more spots in, and they'd get a little bit more money, but they would never get to the level because the SEC has Texas and Alabama and Oklahoma and Auburn and Tennessee and Florida and Georgia and teams that value football, and the budgets are big. And the Big Ten has Penn State and Ohio State and USC and Michigan.
You know how you get
Oregon.
You start winning these games, and you win championships, and you play tough out-of-conference games against these conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC and win those games.
I like having the group of 5 in. Someday we'll have a group of 5 champion. It'll be called something else. But
by the way, not to get too far ahead, our team way too low ranked today.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Oh yeah.
That's coming up a little bit later. But it's good to having a team in there from the group of 5 just to see what they could do. Nobody thought the Americans would beat the Russians in 1980.
Yes, that's right.
Let them play.
That one moment in time.
It's good having an ACC team in there. It's good having a Big 12 team in there. That's fine.
Yeah, look, Arizona State got hot at the right moment. And look, you're going to see, they should have beaten Texas in overtime.
Should have beaten Texas.
Had them dead to rights. You're going to see these teams win a game or two every now and then. I will be shocked consistently if you see somebody outside of the Big Ten or the SEC playing for national championships.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Throw Notre Dame in there as well.
Yeah. Notre Dame, where they're trending right now, and I'll even give you Clemson right now in the moment. But you tell me a team in the Big 12 that you think can win a national championship this year.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Before we move on from this entirely, can I bring up something that Royal Payne asked in the chat room? And it's
Please.
a great question.
Love the chat room feedback.
Why is Greg Sankey always the one having to fight this battle? Could you pick Tony Petitti out of a police lineup?
I could.
You could? I couldn't.
I could. Well, you just start. You line up a police lineup, and you go, okay, who looks like he's a former Italian F1 driver?
All right. Let's back it up then. Let's
But
take.
to Royal Payne's point, though, I think if we were in Chicago doing a show, there is sound on Petit.
Maybe so. I don't know.
Give me Tony Petitti.
Yeah, because he
give
was
me a picture
commenting
of
on
Tony
this as
Petitti.
well.
Okay, he was? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair,
yeah,
he was. I didn't see
commenting
it.
on this.
But I was just going to say, if you took Sankey out, you lined up the other 10 conference commissioners and said, for your life, you have to pick Tony Petitti.
Yeah.
Don't know that I could do it.
Yeah, I would feel okay about it.
I mean,
I went 1990s Italian F1 driver. As soon as you pull up Tony Petitti for me, can you Google Tony Petitti? We got it over here.
we got Scott's going to
let's
have
see
it.
Yeah, there you go.
Not what I thought.
There you go. It looks like
Nope.
he used to drive F1 for an Italian team.
I would say that's your MAC commissioner. He's over Northern Illinois and Eastern Michigan, and he's trying to figure out how to make Maction great again.
By the way,
that's what he's telling. Let's make Maction great again.
I hate people that don't tighten that knot a little bit tighter.
That is a loose knot. I would agree.
That knot's loose.
Hey, he's got a little Joel Klatt in him. It's like Joel Klatt
and Gary Danielson had a kid.
He's got some white teeth.
I don't
Joel
know.
Klatt and Gary Danielson.
I
had a
don't
kid.
know, Joel.
Yeah, you're right. Why do they not tighten the tie? Like it doesn't even meet the button on the collar.
Yeah, it's a loose tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't trust people who lose ties.
I do feel like Sankey is always fighting this battle, and this old cat, I never hear much from him. But I'll back off if you tell me he was talking about over the weekend.
I mean, obviously not.
Yeah.
Not as prevalent, not as in the spotlight as Sankey, because although the Big Ten owns college football right now.
Smuff says Tony Petitti looks like the guy that would play Gary Danielson in the Lifetime movie about the CBS 230 game.
Yeah, in the bad one. Yeah.
Who's playing Vern?
I don't know.
Got to get some people that were in The Hobbit.
I deleted. There's a comedian that looks just like Kalen DeBoer that was playing at Cherokee at the Harrah's in Cherokee. He was coming soon. They had a promotional photo of him on one of the kiosks when I was walking by from my room to the casino, and I meant to take a picture, thinking to myself,
starving for talent there, aren't they?
thinking to myself, the guy who used to do the Hemi was there while I was there.
John Reap?
Yeah,
the guy's been on the show before, and we realized
we ever heard the story about the Carolina Panthers?
We realized John's got one good story he thinks is funny.
Yeah,
but he told it on our show about 3 times.
I think he's moved to a toupee.
Oh, John Reap has?
At least in his promotional photo. Maybe it's old photo that he back when he had hair. It did not look real. But he was there when I was there. But I'll have to look for that comedian. There's a comedian that I was like.
So you didn't go see John Reap?
No. I was killing bubble craps, man.
What?
It's called bubble craps, where the big dice bounce in the middle. You have your own screen. You don't play at a big table, and you sort of on a video screen do your own bets. It's a little slower paced game.
Yeah, and so you trust that.
Did you win?
Well, I know my buddy from Pittsburgh, he punched for 45 minutes rolling, and I learned that you play the same game, and if you bet differently, they win more money. I walked away with a couple $100 profit. They walked away with a couple $1,000 profit, and we were there at the same amount of time. He punched for 45 minutes. It was amazing.
Like he had the roll for 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it was just
That's pretty crazy.
Boom, boom. Typical Jim, though. I did not landmine the roll he was on because I didn't have anything on 5 to start with. Craps, you can place on certain numbers. I didn't have anything on 5 to start with. He had 5 twice in a row, big winners for everybody else at the table. And I was like, well, I'm winning some money. If I put money on 5, this will come crashing down.
Everybody stares directly at you.
What are you?
This is good. Well, they can't see me, but I was like, this will come crashing down. He hit 5 on his roll 11 more times. 11 more times.
That's not the odds.
Yeah, 11 more times he hit 5.
Forrester says Taco Bell gives him the bubble craps.
11 more times he hit 5. I never placed it on it. But I've got the minimum $5 bet here and there. They're apparently every time they win one, they take some of their earnings and throw it back onto the board. Big win. Bubble Craps.
Bubble Crap.
Way to go.
All
Way to
right.
go. All right. That's SEC meetings. A lot more news coming out from that today with the football coaches, the basketball coaches, and the athletic directors today, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Kickoff times this week,
Down
too.
in
You'll get
Destin.
the first 3 weeks of kick times, yeah.
Maybe some today.
Maybe some today. You never know.
We'll keep an eye on that, all developing. But let's go to our Bojangles tender moment of the day
Already?
here in our opening segment. It's our Bojangles tender moment, Brown.
Yeah, it can be bow time for you. From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than our hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want to add some tang? How about barbecue? You want some heat? Try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. And if you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, our classic bow sauce are ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
60 years ago this weekend was Muhammad Ali beating Sonny Liston. And that maybe it's one of the most iconic sports photos of all time, right?
Oh, it's
Is that
incredible.
the one where he's standing over him?
This one right here.
Yeah.
Ali standing over Sonny Liston, 1 minute and 44
I think it is the
seconds.
most iconic.
We
You think
debated
in all
that.
of
I
sports?
think I agree with you.
I mean, Willie Mays' basket catch is
Yeah.
a good one, but that thing is just so freaking perfect.
the
Dwight Clark.
Yeah, the Jim Craig with the American flag draped over his shoulders.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
really,
good.
really good, yeah.
So
But that one's fantastic right there.
the picture was taken by Neil Leifer, Sports Illustrated, 82 now, tells the New York Times on the 60th anniversary, 1 minute and 44 seconds into the infamous title bout, held in a tiny youth center hockey rink. How about that? In Lewiston, Maine is where the fight was.
That's where this was?
Yeah, in Lewiston, Maine, it was used with a Rolleiflex camera. And there's 2 things that stand out about this. This is the first one he points out to the New York Times. What's the first thing that stands out at that photo right there?
Well, just all of because I see this photo 3 or 4 times a week because it's at Champions Gym. But to me, the photographers and the media is so close to the ring.
Yeah.
Like right behind him, those dudes
Yeah,
with all
like-
the horn rim glasses.
Yeah, like so that one camera, that dude's leaned on the mat.
Yeah.
Like he's that close.
Got to be under the ropes there.
Yeah.
Brown, who's sponsoring this fight?
Nobody.
There's no sponsorship. Not on the mat, not on the turnbuckles, not on the boxing trunks, not on the gloves.
They needed
There
themselves a Lance Taylor.
There is no sponsors.
You know, I
Would
thought
you
about
have
this
sold
last
it
night.
out?
We were at a Mexican restaurant, and there was a replay. NFL Network was showing a game between the Vikings and the Cowboys, and it was back in the 70s. The graphics, it looked like Texas Instruments had put those up. There was no sponsorship at all. 2-man booth. I don't know who the 2 guys were doing it. The field was so ratty. Like the NFL logo was just in the middle of the field, and it was all beat to hell and back. And I was just thinking to myself, the NFL was on a shoestring budget back then.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's crazy where it is right now.
Attendance doesn't matter now. It's all TV money.
Oh, yeah, it was a packed house.
Attendance mattered.
Yeah,
they needed people in the seats.
It was outdoor when they used to play before the Metrodome.
Yep.
And so
at County Stadium or whatever.
it was
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
packed out, but there was no sponsorships. I noticed the graphics were terrible.
I bet that was the Hail Mary game.
I didn't stick around for it. Maybe.
Yeah. So that was Dallas at Minnesota where the Hail Mary became a
But
thing.
you know,
Yeah, Roger Staubach, right?
I'll go as a great Brit again. Advertisements were so big back then.
Right.
Like when you just pull out old magazines and stuff, like how it wasn't involved in sport, maybe not to the level it is now, but how there were no sponsorships. You're dead on.
I'm with Daniel. Daniel says, I've looked at that photo. I never realized there were no sponsors. But you're
None.
absolutely right. There's
Zero.
none. It's everywhere now. Yeah.
That's one that Neil points out. He says the other one is there. Back then, they didn't add any filters or anything to the photos. That's just the way it came out on the film.
So it is a color photograph. They didn't add color later.
No, it is.
Okay.
There is black and white version of it.
Right.
And the color one. That's the color one. And he says it has a blue haze to it. Why do you think?
Smoking.
Smoking.
Yeah.
90% of the men,
Yep.
90% of the men, 90% of the attendants were men back in those days, and all of them either smoked cigarettes or cigars, and the smoke because of the fluorescent lights, made for a blue haze, which gave it.
It actually looks better.
He says it gave it a
Yeah,
dramatic
yeah,
feel.
It
to
does. It gives a dramatic
Yeah.
feel.
Pretty crazy.
This movie, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, 1989, Black Rain.
Nope.
Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia, Ridley Scott directed it, but the boys were watching it before I went to bed last night. And, they're in a bar, and it's that exact haze.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you guys notice about this? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, everybody's smoking.
That's right.
In a restaurant. And it's same blue haze like that.
Yeah. Crazy. 60 years ago, still some say, like Lance, the most iconic sports photo of all time. That's our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day. The show also brought to you today by the great folks at Johnston RV. Johnston RV getting you ready to go see America in 2025.
Yeah, and price ranges for almost everyone out there with approved credit as low as $129 a month. You can get in an RV from Johnston RV Center. From the toy haulers to the fifth wheels, the tow behinds, the motor homes, they've got something for everyone. And another thing they have is that lifetime warranty. Anything that is new or qualifying pre-owned, lifetime warranty from RV Warranty Forever. Also, great discounts for the brave men and women that have served or are currently serving in our United States military. Active duty veterans, you've got a great deal there. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Men, stay on top of your health. Early detection, so important. It can be life-saving. That's what Urology Centers of Alabama can do at the top of their list, but they do so many things. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. 16 locations, 35 urologists. Find the one that's near you and schedule an appointment by going to the website. Prostate health, yes. Kidney stones, everything in between, vasectomies. They do it all, and they do it top-notch at Urology Centers of Alabama. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round as we continue on. Auburn is in a great spot. Playing today on the Golf Channel at some point today.
Yeah.
They got rain, maybe?
Well, it's out on the West Coast. I was surprised you told me. Is it 8:30 Pacific?
I don't know. They play at some point today. Maybe it's 1 o'clock.
They're playing at
12 noon maybe.
Okay, they're playing at Carlsbad. So when you told me, hey, Brown, Auburn Golf is on at 8:30, and I put it on the Golf Channel, I'm like, it's in Carlsbad. That seems awful early, but they're playing 2 today.
12 noon is what I have scribbled here on my sheet. Auburn Golf in the team match against Virginia. Quarterfinals, if they win that, they go to the semifinals also today. And then maybe for the national championship tomorrow, they're number 1 ranked going in. Auburn Golf is. They're the team to beat, but they're number 2 going into the team match play. So Auburn has a chance. They're the only team through 4 rounds to be under par every round. So they're really, really good, and Auburn's got a chance to be national champions in golf. And then in baseball, Auburn Baseball sitting back and watching the selection show yesterday, and it was big news for Auburn as they sit there and they get not only a national seed, but a number 4 national seed. So Auburn will not have to leave Plainsman Park if they make it to Omaha. They'll play them all right there in Auburn, including before the Super Regionals this weekend, where basically the team they've got to beat is NC State, not one of the top 16 teams. You see Auburn only outlasted by 4 other SEC teams. 13 teams are in. 8 of the 16 are hosting, half the field hosting in this opening weekend. So Auburn, a national championship contender in baseball as well, one of the teams to beat on the road to Omaha. They should advance out of the regional easily. NC State nowhere near them. And then they would host a super regional against an elite team and then possibly go out to Omaha to play there.
Who do you think the favorite is to win this whole thing?
I think it's still Texas, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be Texas.
It's not Texas.
Is it not? Who is it?
It's LSU.
It's LSU.
LSU at 6-1, Texas 8-1, along with Vanderbilt, and then Georgia is plus 850. So your top 4 teams are SEC, and then you got to get to North Carolina.
Texas kind of limped to Hoover, and then they got bounced in Hoover by Tennessee.
Technically, Vandy is the number 1 overall seed in the tournament.
Well, I mean, so
they
Vanderbilt
just won the
goes
conference tournament,
3 games without giving up a run or committing an error.
Yeah. Is that any good?
That's pretty good. Like I don't see how you lose a game if you're Vanderbilt if you play like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no telling what Omaha could look like in terms of SEC teams.
Top 4 seeds there: Vandy, Texas, Arkansas, and Auburn, North Carolina, LSU, Georgia, Oregon State, and then the other teams who will have to travel if it holds chalk includes Ole Miss at 10. Tennessee at 14 there of the SEC teams. Alabama's in. They're a 2 seed. They're going to Hattiesburg. Southern Miss is the team to beat there. Alabama will open with Miami and then hopefully take a couple of shots at Southern Miss to get out of Pete Taylor Park, Hill Denson Field there in Hattiesburg where the lights are dim and the field is deep.
So Auburn has the 7th shortest odds to win the national championship right now in Las Vegas at 12-1. Alabama's are 75-1, but right in front of them is Southern Miss at 66-1. So, based on what Vegas is saying, Southern Miss and Alabama are pretty close 1-2 there in Hattiesburg.
Yeah, they are 16 and 17 in the seeding.
Your problem is if you escape, you likely catch Vanderbilt. If you escape out of that region, you're going to, unless a massive upset occurs, you're going to catch Vandy.
Yeah, in Nashville, in that little cracker box of a stadium.
Yeah, short porch,
artificial turf, blah, 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 blah.
You know who's got better odds than both Alabama, Mississippi State, and Oklahoma and Kentucky out of the SEC?
Who's that?
Well, not out of the SEC. Dallas Baptist, the Patriots, 40-1. They've been in the top 25 all year.
Yeah, it's a great baseball program.
Coastal Carolina is actually hosting.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, they're only 25-1. I mean, there's only 10 teams that have shorter odds.
I saw a cool video about Dallas Baptist. I never knew this.
Oh, God.
They've got a lot of,
see this?
I saw this.
They've got a lot of money, though, don't they, in their
got a lot of money,
facility?
yeah. They got a lot of money, but their baseball field, Lance, backs up to the Dallas-Fort Worth National Cemetery, where 60,000 veterans are buried. And veterans and family members, maybe 60,000. And every day at 7 o'clock, they play taps at that cemetery. So if they're playing a baseball game, they stop the game, and everybody, takes the hat off. And it's cool video.
Yeah, I saw it over the weekend, and it's middle of the game. You let the opposing team know that at 7 o'clock.
That's right.
They pause the game mid-batter.
Yeah, it does not matter. Yep.
And the taps isn't playing over the PA system. You can hear it, though, like it's inside the stadium, but it's playing from the cemetery.
So you have to be careful when, like mid-play, you getting a rundown or something.
Just stop as soon as you can, I guess.
Stop as soon as you can. But no, they stop, and it reminds me, when I grew up over by Fort McClellan, we used to play a lot of golf out there, and they retire the stripes at the end of the night, play retreat, and you have to stop. You're expected to stop and take your hat off there, too. So I did that a lot as a kid.
We used to do that. I mean, I'm old. They used to happen on high school football Friday nights at a lot of stadiums.
It's county by county. It just depends on which county you're in. Like growing up in Calhoun County, they never did that. But if we ever played over in Etowah County, one of the Gadsden area teams, they would always do it at the end of the third quarter.
But it wasn't like at sunset. It was the end of the
third quarter. They would retire the stripes. Yeah.
I never knew why it was at that point.
I didn't either.
I saw a funeral procession over the weekend, and I haven't seen one of those in forever. When's the last time you guys saw like 50 cars deep?
My dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than a family member.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I just hadn't seen one of those riding around in forever.
Did people still pull over for your dad?
It brought me to tears, actually, when we were riding down the road.
I heard Take It to the Limit this weekend.
Yeah. Did you really? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a song. It really, some did, some didn't. And you could tell by age, about 40 and older, they were doing it. They'd pull over or come to a stop. And then other people would whiz past them looking like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's tough.
And
I saw one person pull over for the fresh.
Really? And
I just don't think people.
Yeah, I don't think people know that anymore. Yeah. Well, if you live in a city like ours, you don't ever see them. So
never.
How do you know that? But growing up, in Calhoun County or places like that.
Here's another one I came across over the weekend that I've never even heard this. Maybe Augusta does this. But have you ever heard of a clubhouse where you can't wear a hat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's places in Birmingham. Yeah, you're asked to take Shoal Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, you're asked to take your hat off when you enter the clubhouse. Now, some areas, like if you're in the men's grill, it's fine. But if you go into the main restaurant, they have a sign that says remove your hat. That's pretty common.
And put your damn shoes on. Our show brought to you in part today by our friend Alexander Shunnarah, Trial Attorneys. A local, built his dynasty right here in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. Shunnarah.com. When it comes time for an attorney, if you need one, start with our guy, Alexander Shunnarah. Right here in Birmingham, as Jim said, more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. Maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
Andy Staples, by the way, on 3 Sports. He's down at the SEC meetings. He's one of the chosen few there with the SEC office down there, talking about Greg Sankey and the case of the SEC schedule being harder on his podcast today. If you're wondering, since the college football playoff format started, 4 auto bids, the discussion is the 4-4-2-2-1-3 method now. This is how it's laid out over the years. Teams per conference based on current alignment that would have qualified for past 11 college football playoffs if only top 16 teams had received the bid. Who do you think would have got the most teams in?
Alabama.
No,
by conference. Let me guess.
By
the
conference, SEC. I'm sorry.
No.
Big Ten.
It was the Big Ten.
Okay. It's one of the two. Yes,
56. They would have averaged 5.09 per year if it was a 16-seeded top 16 teams ranking. The SEC would have had 53 4.81 every year, so virtually close. The next one, Notre Dame, ACC, Big 12, a group of 6.
The Big Ten thing's really interesting because you think about how long the Big Ten had gone, 2014 before they've won back-to-back. And it seems like moving forward, the Big Ten is going to be right there with the SEC. I mean, the SEC, how many championships was it in a row once Florida won it in 2006?
Keep in mind, though, that we're counting USC, Washington, Oregon, all that is Big Ten teams, not as Pac-12 teams. Remember, Washington made a playoff.
No, I get that.
Michigan State made a playoff.
But, the SEC is now getting credit for Texas.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I do think Oklahoma's going to be improved this year, but Texas has been a factor over the last couple of years.
When you go by these old numbers, Oklahoma rang that bell a lot every year. Who's next? Notre Dame, ACC, Big 12.
ACC gets a lot from Clemson, but I'm trying to think of who obviously would have jumped in there behind Clemson in a 16-team playoff. Like one year I know North Carolina would have.
Florida State.
Pittsburgh would have the year with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I guess I'll go ACC then.
Big 12. 29, 2.64 a year. ACC 24, 2.18 a year. Notre Dame would have.
But the Big 12 because of Oklahoma and Texas.
That's right, yeah.
Notre Dame would have made it 8 times. And the group of 6 would have made it 6 times, just going by the top 16 seeds.
So SEC was what?
53.
Big Ten was?
56.
And the next closest power conference was 29
with the Big 12.
Which, again, goes back to we're talking about this. We've got a lot of history to look at right here. And when we're talking giving 2 conferences 4 seeds and 2 conferences 2 seeds, you see why.
Yep.
I mean, all I got to do is look at the history.
Basically 5 a year to 2 a year.
Yeah.
But ironically, you bring up Notre Dame. Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame to win the opportunity to win a championship. He can't even get LSU to a 12-teamer.
I know.
And he would be getting Notre Dame to 12 teams.
Yeah, I know.
All the time, all the time. That from Brett McMurphy, who is one of the best at breaking news in college football. Show today being brought to you by our friends Dr. B. The guy's got these guys' hair looking fantastic and could have done something for mine if I had just met him 30 years ago.
Well, that's the thing. Be preemptive. Like, this can start in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever it starts. That is when you need to go see Dr. Beckenstein. Happened to me a few years ago. 205-319-0316. Tell him and his great staff the next round sent you. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in topical forms. You pick and choose which agents you want, men and women. Ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money. Critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B. Find out what will work. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
A lot of college football to get to after we talk to Clay Travis, but we got to tip our cap to Ronald Acuña. Comes back basically a year off with a torn ACL. First at bat, first pitch, boom, home run. Next night, home run. Doesn't homer in Game 3. Now you're off to a series in Philadelphia starting tonight. And Acuña has homered in 2 of his 3 games back. Man, those were a couple of chill bump moments over the weekend for Acuña.
Well, we talked about it a little bit on Friday. This is exactly what the Braves needed. Yeah, you have to get a spark with that offense. Leadoff spot had not been good for the Braves, and when you get back one of the top 5 players in all of baseball, it's going to give you that little spark. You just wonder with how crowded the NL is right now, being 8.5 games back of the Phillies. And I don't know exactly where they are in the wild card, but I think they've got the 7th or 8th best record right now.
Yeah, we talked about it, though, sparking the Braves. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Padres. Good team, obviously, the Padres, but still, the Braves lost 2 out of 3. And now you go, like Lance said, to Philadelphia, where you're already 8.5 back. Again, it's way too early to start worrying about that, when it's not even double digits yet, but you do at least want to keep them within arm's length going into June.
Yeah, I'll go on and tell you a free play today. The Atlanta Braves.
Oh, you like them?
Yep. Lance'sLock.com for that free play.
Braves would be 5 back in the wild card, Lance, to answer your question. I feel we're a bit early talking wild card.
Probably.
That's a hefty number. But Acuña is back now. Philly had won 9 of their last 10. Had won 9 straight before they lost over the weekend. So Acuña and the Braves tonight in Philly, 5:45. Shohei Ohtani did a live batting practice session over the weekend where he threw 22 pitches to Dodger batters, basically pitched an inning. Topped out at 97 miles per hour, averaged 94 to 95 miles per hour. And it's been 614 days since he pitched a live session. Went well, and then he put his pitching glove down, picked up the bat, homered, got his 18th homer in one game, and then backed it up with his 19th homer in the next game. He leads the majors with 19 homers, and we're waiting for this guy to come back and pitch too. Ohtani is still a star to watch.
Yeah, Ichiro was a stud. This is different level. Like, I always thought Japanese baseball, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but,
flow.
Yeah, I always, the Cecil Fielders would go over there and hit 55 bombs, and I'm like, any really good player can go over there, dominate, and have a career. So I always thought you respected how big it was for their culture, but, like, their guys aren't that good. And you look at Ohtani, and he might be the best we've ever seen.
You know what he's like? He's like the guy you play with in Little League that had the late birthday, so he was barely under the cut to be, age-wise in the league you're in, and he's hit puberty before everybody.
Yeah, Kelly Leak.
Yeah, Kelly, and he can.
He's got the motorcycle, cigarette.
That's right. He can pitch better than everybody. He can hit better than everybody. Except this is not Little League baseball. This is the best collection of players on the planet, and he's still doing this kind of stuff. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. Good for him. We will get to the viewing menu in just a second, but first, let me tell you about our friends at New Life Art. Our friend Daniel A. Moore has a lifetime of artistic work celebrating great things, including college football. You can see his latest, The Legend, Nick Saban, 6 national championships over in Tuscaloosa. You can get that and a lot of other works at danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR. From Rocky Block to the goal line stand, to Gene Stallings' 1992 national championship piece there that celebrates so many things about that great 92 team. It's all right there at danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR. And also by our friends at Michelson, they bring you the viewing menu.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask for Amy Toe, the Next Round Cynthia. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. I got the procedure done back in 2003. Still 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, first off, we've got a new true crime series on Netflix because there seems to be one every other day.
This is maybe the one I almost started last night, and I even had teenage boys intrigued on this, but it got a little too late. I had to go to bed.
The one releasing today is Cold Case, the Tylenol murders. Who really laced Tylenol with cyanide? This true crime series examines alarming theories behind the unsolved killings and tracks down a key suspect.
So you wouldn't remember this. This was a big deal. So this is 1982, and I remember as a kid being terrified.
Yeah.
Like, can I get anything off the shelf? But this is what led to the safety tops and
the seals
and foil, over everything.
And that one girl getting arrested for licking ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's been pretty recent, like in this supermarket. Yeah, and she put it back in.
Yeah, definitely the Tylenol guy. I don't even remember who did this, but I am going to watch 3-part series. I'm all in.
And then next up, Prime is releasing a movie that I really recommend. I got to see it last year, called September 5th. This is about the sports broadcast team that was at the Munich Olympics that ended up covering the terrorist hostage situation because they were the closest ones to the scene and could cover it. And I think it is incredible. And if you are interested in broadcast dramas, it's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, it's one of. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I lived through it. I was young at the time, but it was right at the same time I decided I wanted to be a sportscaster. Mm-hmm. So I was amazed by the whole Olympic problem that was going on. And to this day, I still, because of 1972, every time there's an Olympics, I'm always fearful that something horrible is going to happen.
Well, you feel like you're in the moment in 1972, and it's almost like you're watching a documentary. It's so well done, and it's, I don't know, an hour and 45 minutes. Every moment is so freaking tense. It's so well acted, so well played out. Highly recommend it. Totally agree with that. It's a great movie.
Does anybody play Jim McKay, or do they just use the old footage of Jim McKay?
No. They've got actors.
They've got an actor playing Jim McKay?
They've got a Cosell. Okay. And it really is fascinating because, ABC was like, we've got to take this to our news guys, and they're like, absolutely not. We're going to run with this. And that's where people really started to learn about the Howard Cosells of the world.
Yeah.
And it also uses archival footage
Okay.
of Jim McKay as well.
Jim McKay was really, really good, by the way. A little before your time, but he was fantastic.
He was good.
Okay.
He was good. I
Not
mean,
fantastic. Jim's going to stop me before I get to
well, I'm
fantastic.
just saying,
Jim McKay
By
was.
Jim McKay.
Yeah.
he was Frank Sinatra. He was the right place, right time.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
there were a lot better broadcasters than Jim McKay, but
Okay.
I did like him a lot.
Okay. I didn't say he was the best of all time.
Yeah.
I said he was fantastic.
He got given a lot of great opportunities, like Wide World of Sports and all of
They
that.
generally give those to the bad.
Yeah, I mean, he probably earned it a little bit.
Yeah, they generally were like, who sucks? Let's give him
So
Wide
this
World of
wasn't the guy
Sports.
you were like, if he can do it, I'm getting in this field.
That wasn't it was a local guy that did that. Jim McKay's best work. Nope, no, wasn't even Jim McKay. It was somebody else. Never mind.
Jack Whitaker?
Kurt Gowdy did American Sportsman. That was
Yeah.
his best work. He'd do the NFL games on Sunday, but in the summertime, he would do like hunting wild boar or elk in Africa, deep sea fishing and he would bring a superstar with him. Those were great pieces of television. Kurt Gowdy was his name.
And then finally on the TCM channel at 7 p.m., a movie that I think Lance was talking about last week, The Searchers.
Yeah, John Wayne, 1956, I think, really good. You'd like The Searchers.
Okay. I'll try to watch it. It won't be tonight before anybody asks, but I will, in fact, try to watch it. Wife and I are going to dinner tonight.
What's the
That's
premise?
because you're watching
So,
Jurassic Park.
Not tonight.
They hunt down people who are wanted.
So, the Indians were the bad guys back in the day, right? It wasn't the Cowboys. Indians raid a house and basically slaughter family. Little girl goes missing, and so John Wayne heads up a team of the searchers. Go looking for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I bet that's good.
I'll find them.
Yeah.
I was watching a
not
little
bad.
of
Thank you.
So were y'all more John Wayne or Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood.
Well, I mean, I crossed that divide with my age. My dad and my granddad loved John Wayne. I mean, he was in every cowboy, western, and war film. So I was a John Wayne
And
guy.
ironically,
early.
he was a draft dodger, wasn't he?
I don't know. He was also Genghis Khan, right?
Yeah, he was.
It's a bit miscast.
Yeah, you watch that now, it says yellow face on the top.
It's a bit miscast.
Yeah,
Genghis Khan.
Yeah. Well, I vacationed a little bit of my vacation was in Cherokee, North Carolina on a golf trip. And through downtown Cherokee, it not very, some of the names haven't changed since the 1970s.
Yeah. So not Indian friendly?
Yeah. Like you could go shop in the TP souvenirs and
Was Chief Nakahoma, is that where he lives now?
Yeah, I mean, he
got reassigned.
Yeah.
He's in AA.
Oh, everybody, the Cleveland Indians there. Who else is there? The Redskin.
Yeah.
This would be a great skit
like a
for
retirement.
SNL.
It's a
wouldn't it?
retirement home.
Because you guys know that I get a little anxious when things are not socially politically correct. Clay Travis next, by the way.
But you're an Indian. At least you say you
Yeah, you
are.
got some blood.
I got some Cherokee
You
Indian
don't,
in me.
but-
I do. But so I'm right because people were waving at me in the van.
One of ours.
One of ours.
Do you know how to do the smoke signal with a towel?
Yeah. And I was looking at these signs and I pointed it out. I was like, whew, this stuff has not been updated since they became the Commanders. And
I can't get any Washington Commanders gear here, I guarantee you.
yeah, and my group of friends tend more to Lance's beliefs of the Commanders and the Redskins, and they were getting a big kick at reading the store signs as we were riding to breakfast one morning.
This is America, friends.
Look at that one right there.
Hey, they still take the white man's dollar, though, don't they?
It was designed for that, Brownie.
Yes.
Clay Travis is next. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at A+. Brownie, tell us the big transformation your house made.
Yeah, I mean, going from a bathroom that was a little bit outdated, not quite what we wanted size-wise. We didn't like the colors of it. My wife scoured the internet when it came time to redo that. She ended up picking Brad Bell for the job. Scott's showing you some before photos of my bathroom. You can see nothing wrong with it. It's just not what we wanted. We wanted it darker and a little more updated. So Brad comes in. We share that vision with him. He says, I got that vision. Let's go. So he does it. Doesn't try to sell us on another vision. He says, I want your vision to be the vision. And as you can see from the before and after photos, it looks fantastic after Brad's work. Here's what he specializes in. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. It's not all he does, but it's what he specializes in. Reason being is when you go to sell your home, you're going to make your money back on those rooms, and you're going to enjoy those rooms while you own the home. Here's Brad's number, 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758. Or see more AlabamaBathRemodels.com. A lot of before and after. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Clay Travis is next.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the next round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Clay Travis in just a second. We'll talk about several things going on with him. By the way, if you missed it over the weekend, a guy named O'Neal Cruz, if you're not a baseball guy, you may not know him, plays with Pittsburgh, doesn't get a lot of press, Pittsburgh, but he broke his own record with the hardest hit baseball recorded in Major League Baseball history, hardest hit home run recorded in Major League Baseball history. They've been recording this off-the-bat speed since 2015. He set the record in 2022 against the Braves with a 122.4 mile per hour home run. He hit one 122.9 miles per hour over the weekend that landed in the Allegheny River. Keith Jackson used to talk about on the
Allegheny River.
Now, he was great, by the way. Keith Jackson was great.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
But O'Neal Cruz breaking his own record there, hardest hit home run in Major League Baseball history, 122.9 miles per hour, landing in the Allegheny.
So they weren't the two home runs that I remember the hardest hit ever. If anybody would have ever tried to barehand this, it would have taken their hands off. I remember one was Mort McGuire on a Sunday night against the Mariners in the Kingdome when he was playing for the A's. It hit the back wall, and it was an absolute missile. And I think it was off Randy Johnson. And then in I guess it was the NLCS, Brad Lidge. Do you guys remember the closer for the Astros?
I do remember him.
Pujols hit one off of him that went above the old train tracks at Enron. And it almost put a hole in the wall.
I remember Jorge.
But I think that was back before they actually had the velocity off the bat.
2015 is when they started doing
Jorge
that.
Soler hit that one in the World Series in Houston that seemed like it was a piss missile. Piss rocket.
Yeah. You made a mistake there, right? Which one's the correct one?
The piss missile is the correct one. Piss rocket is what he said.
Storm Restoration Roofing bringing you part of the show today. Greg from Pell City, all these storms, all the lightning, all the wind. Right before I left, there was an 80-mile-per-hour wind that blew through. I mean, just a ton of storm damage lately in the area. Greg will get to you, though. He will give you a free, no-cost roof inspection. He repairs storm damage caused by wind, lightning, rain. He handles it all, and he'll do it with a free no-cost roof inspection. 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. He and his wife own the company. They've been locally owned for over 20 years. He's got kids that work on the crew. The crews are all local. He takes care of them. They're very loyal to him. It's just a top-notch business. You don't always get this with the crews that come out and work on your roof. You do with Greg from Pell City. And listen, he's also got a small business builder's license, so he can do some of the repairs, small projects himself. 205-542-3531 or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
All right, Clay Travis is the founder of Outkick, also Fox Sports. You can see him on social media at Clay Travis. He joins us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline at this time each week. Fresh back from the Indy 500. Welcome in, Clay. How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all? Yeah, it was a cool experience. Me and 350,000 other people. Pretty bonkers how big and massive that entire undertaking is. I had never been before, so it was a cool experience to be able to take in.
I've been told it's one of those that whether you're an Indy fan or not, it's one of those you have to experience if you're a sports fan. Would you put it in that category, having been there now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think if you're a diehard sports fan, that's one of the fun things to do is kind of try to bucket awesome events that you would have seen on television. And I would say that needs to be on, somebody's top 10, top 20 list, depending on exactly how you want to define it. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really a cool experience, unique, unlike anything else I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I've been, Clay, one time.
You've been to the Indy 500?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
When I worked in Lexington, one of the Unsers had a sponsorship from a company that was based in Lexington. And so I was there. So I experienced it on a test day from the suite of the sponsor. But on actual race day, I was in the infield. And I could not see one lap of the track.
Oh, yeah. No action.
And I've never been to actual Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but I cannot imagine it being more Sodom and Gomorrah in New Orleans than it was in the infield in Indy in 1990. It was anything and everything was going on there that morning. And I'm with you, Clay. Anytime 350,000 Americans are together, you need to go see that. That's a lot of people in one place.
Yeah, look, and there's a wide variety of ways you can experience athletic events like these or big sporting events. I've been to the Derby several times, and I've been as, the poor college kid in the infield, which is a very different experience than in the Millionaire Row boxes or whatever, which I've also done. I've done it as a media member. And so, like many things, there are a wide variety of ways that you can experience these big, sort of elite sporting events.
So I was with a guy over the weekend. Your name came up because he was in the Ironman, the Alcatraz, and I told him that Clay thinks he could swim from Alcatraz and make it to shore, and he doubted that. But I also saw over the weekend where you challenged Angel Reese to a one-on-one matchup. Full disclosure, I did this with Nancy, what's her name?
Nancy Lieberman-Klein?
Nancy Lieberman-Klein. Yeah, we were supposed to play back in the early 2000s. But that was when she was like 45. Angel Reese would destroy you, Clay.
I don't think she would.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't think she would.
Well,
she can't shoot.
Well, let me
can't shoot.
Okay, let me give you an example real quick, because after the Nancy, what's her name? Nancy
Lieberman-Klein.
Lieberman-Klein. I get that wrong. So we went out and we played UAB's women's team, and they had this chick, Deanna. I forgot her name. She went fourth in the WNBA draft, but because I was the guy talking so much shit, they put her on me. She lit my ass up for 28. Now, we dominated the team because they couldn't rebound, so we ended up beating them by 17. But I'm telling you, one-on-one with Angel Reese, with her size, she would dominate you.
No, I don't know who that, I'm betting that you played against a guard, like somebody who could actually handle the ball and get her own shot. I don't think that Angel Reese is actually very good at handling the basketball. So, like, if you put her out at the 3-point line and you say, like, hey, you've got to get in. Well, first of all, I don't think she can. I mean, she can barely make layups. She's good at rebounding.
But how good's your defense at 46 or 47, however old you are?
I think I could. I mean, do you think she actually has much more of a vertical leap than me?
No, well,
I think she's taller than you. How tall is Angel Reese?
She's like 6'5".
6'3". I'm 6 feet. I mean, but we're not talking about I think that's significant. She's not 7'2", I don't think it's that significant. I mean, again, she's not, I would not, if you asked me, hey, can you beat somebody who can handle the basketball, and is good at dribbling and getting to like a guard? No, because I'm old and slow. But big men last way longer because there's less of an issue. With your being just
I'll pull the upset
get inside
here.
Of her. I don't think she could.
I think
I don't think she could break me down.
You're breaking up a little bit, Clay, but I'm gonna side with Clay here. I think
Clay wins this
game?
Clay
Clay loses by 50 against Caitlin Clark,
right?
But against Angel Reese, I think he stays in the game. I think he's got a chance to pull the upset.
Now, I've seen supercuts of her. I don't watch all their games. I've seen supercuts of her where she struggles around the rim. She gets a lot of rebounds because she misses a lot of shots, which that shouldn't count as a rebound, by the way. If you're getting your own miss, that shouldn't be a rebound in my book.
I agree. And she, to Clay's point, she doesn't have a lot of touch. And she, not to stereotype, but some women basketball players who don't have good shots, when they get it, they don't really have a good gauge on how to use the backboard, and she will bang a few off that backboard way too hard sometimes.
What size ball are we using here?
Oh, it's got to be WNBA.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would have to get negotiated. I mean, I think we'd have to use a men's ball, right? I should get some advantage. Now, either way, the women's basketball, people don't talk about it, but anybody who's ever played with it, it's way easier to make shots with it because the ball's smaller.
That's right.
And pretty substantially smaller. So, if I'm shooting from outside, I'm not an awful outside shooter. Now, that's a little bit haphazard, right? But we're playing ones and twos. So if I could hit 2 or 3 threes, then that alters the trajectory a little bit. And is she going to give me... Is she going to, analytics. Is she going to give
I'm backing off my prediction right now because you're winded walking and talking to us right now.
That's true.
People underrate how hard it is to talk and walk at the same time, especially upstairs. So, that's not an easy, it's not an easy activity.
So where are we on this? You've offered her $100,000, and I was telling them a story about an NIL guy that's really, really young that got a $10,000 offer to do one thing and didn't even return a call. So, Angel Reese, $100,000. I mean, that's a decent number. I mean,
that's more than she makes to play in the WNBA for the entire year.
Okay, well, has she responded?
She blocked me on Twitter.
Okay, well, she responded.
I believe that's a no.
Yeah.
But the sounds of it, no.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's a no. Yeah. Not an expert in human relations, but generally speaking, I think it's the I've got to wash my hair response when you ask a girl out for a date. From a basketball challenge perspective.
Is that actually the Dwight Clark jersey from the catch? Brown brought up the catch earlier today.
No, it's got 16 on it too.
Yeah, it's not the actual jersey.
It's a special. I bought this somewhere. Yeah, I bought this thing.
It's got both numbers on it.
I don't know how. It's not like I really care that much about the catch, but somehow I bought this at some charity event. I also did I tell you that I think I told you guys that I bought a bear hunt at a charity event?
No.
Get a little bit of alcohol in me. There's no telling what I'm going to buy. Yeah, I bought a Canadian bear hunt the other day at a charity auction.
When do you have to redeem it by?
Well, my schedule ended up too complicated, so I gave it to the wounded veterans. So they took 4 veterans up to go kill bears instead, which is good for
really
them,
good.
which is very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, glad you did that.
But I was planning on going to go, and people were like, "Have you ever killed a large animal before?" And I said, "No." But I mean, the bigger the animal is, the easier the hit, right? So I was ready to go I was going to get a bear rug, all sorts of stuff. They got a new fireplace. Going to try to convince Laura to sleep with me on it, as everyone who owns a bear rug should do. So I don't know.
I mean, who are you, 1970s Burt Reynolds?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the point of having a bear rug if you don't have a girl naked on it with you? I mean, I don't understand why you would have it otherwise.
Yeah, this should be like your last call with us ever. I mean, that'd be full circle. Your first one ever was LT interviewing you about
a replacement for Mike Shula,
digging up Bear's body.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you're donating a bear hunt to veterans.
It's come full circle.
That is full circle for you.
Oh, well, I know a lot of people would have been rooting for the bear, so it could be like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. I got to be careful out there.
Yeah, I've never looked at, much like we've talked about Jaws with you, and you talk about how influential that movie was. I've never looked at a bear differently,
the same.
Yeah, the same after watching The Revenant.
I mean, I just don't think in general the, sort of Wild West pioneer days, like the stuff that those guys had to put up with is, I don't think people think enough about how crazy that whole era was, where, 1 minute everything's going great. You're just, kind of sitting by the fire. Next moment, like there's a grizzly bear on top of you with almost, virtually no warning at all. So, we kind of got it a little bit easy now, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. Nobody wants to live what happened in The Revenant. I mean, that was tough times. I don't know how often that happened back then.
Yeah, I would have.
Once was enough.
If word would have gotten back to the old country, hey, this America, man.
Yeah, these bears.
Yeah, bears, Indians, woods, bad trails.
Hey, what? I'll stay here under the oppressive king.
Yep.
No, look,
I
don't know that people thought. You're going to get history book recommendations, but Undaunted Courage by Stephen Ambrose about the Lewis and Clark expedition. I mean, when those guys left from the St. Louis area to go explore everything that Jefferson had bought in the Louisiana Purchase, they truly had no idea what animals they were going to run into, right? Like, I mean, legitimately, Thomas Jefferson was like, maybe there's some mastodons out there. Like, they thought, hey, there may be still dinosaurs, like living out, and they had no idea. And so I don't think they had a conception that the grizzly bear existed at that point in time, because if I'm remembering my historic range of grizzly bears, which, I think I know, but would not stun me if I didn't. But I don't think that anybody knew that the grizzly bear of the Pacific West existed, at the time Lewis and Clark just kind of set off. So they had no idea what dangers, potentially awaited them in terms of the animals that might be there.
Hey, have you ever heard, real quick, have you ever heard about the giant short-faced bear? And this, I'm not making this up, it's 100% true.
Yeah, we talked about this, Buck and I talked about it. And by the way, I love reading about, everybody likes dinosaurs or whatever when they're kids, but like they used to have giant kangaroos that were like twice as big as humans in Australia. And they existed there because, by and large, there wasn't really much of a population on Australia until whatever it was, 1780 something, when Europeans arrived there. I mean, I know they had some Aborigines, but there weren't very many of them. And like, can you imagine a kangaroo that's twice as big as a human, like a 14-foot kangaroo?
Yeah, that giant the giant short-faced bear, if he's standing erect, they think he was 25 to 30 feet tall. And it's why nobody crossed the Bering Strait back in the day. Like, there was a land bridge that could get you from continent to continent, and word got out about these giant short-faced bears, and everybody's like, tell you what, I like this continent just fine. We're gonna stay right here. We're not gonna cross that old land bridge. And it shut it down.
You had to fight it with a spear.
Yeah.
So
you had no hope.
That's not exactly great odds.
Here is the
look at the giant short-faced bear.
The giant short-faced bear. That's pretty big.
They think they could be up to 30 feet tall.
Yeah, but Clay, why have we not done a Lewis and Clark like really good Netflix?
This has been my argument for years. I think it would be the #1 show in America, because if you read that book, Undaunted Courage, and see what it took them like 2 years. So, and they went all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Obviously, they were looking in general for a land bridge, right? A river that they thought would maybe cross the continent that would allow them to go rapid. They didn't find it, obviously, but they were hoping for kind of a Mississippi River of the West that would allow them to connect with the Pacific so they could get faster trade routes and travel and everything else. And they never found it. But no, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, I think it would be the #1 show in America if they did an elite version, really well done, of just following all the crazy things that happened to them on their tour.
Yeah, look, you've got millions of dollars. I mean, maybe this is a way for you to break into the business of being a producer and pitch this to Netflix.
I mean, I would love to pitch it. I don't know that a lot of Netflix people are like, hey, you know who we need to take ideas from? Clay Travis.
I'm telling you, I think anybody would get behind this, though.
Candidly. Well, we'll see.
All right. I gotta.
No, we're done.
I gotta go, boys.
We're done.
I'm changing clothes here because I gotta go on television really quick, and then I'm going, by the way, down to Universal Studios for this new theme park. I'm taking my kids down to Universal tomorrow, so I'm gearing up for vacation mode.
Yeah, we've had enough about bears and kangaroos standing erect, so we need to.
I thought that Brown needed to be a little more careful with his word choice there.
Well, I didn't know how else to describe it. Thank you, Clay. Have a great weekend.
We don't need to see your bearing straight.
I'll see you guys. Bye.
His land bridge. Clay Travis with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline.
I actually want this to become a series. Would you guys watch
Lewis?
Lewis?
It would be good.
100%.
Who would you cast as Lewis and Clark? Tell me that.
I mean, think about how well the likeness of Meriwether Lewis and William Clark are right here.
Yeah, but just tell me who you would cast.
Okay.
Lewis Clark and
Sacagawea.
Yeah, got to go sexy there.
Yeah.
Brownie, tell us about our friends right there at Bojangles, bringing you part of the show today.
Yeah, it can be bow time for you. You like a good dipping sauce? Well, they got them right there at Bojangles, from sweet to heat. They've got 7 sauces that will add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with those sauces than the hand-breaded tenders at Bojangles. If you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard or add some Tango barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, try the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
Hey, look, changing weather out there. We're rolling into the summer. You need to make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with this weather. Call our friends at Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Adam, Chad, Andrew, ready to take your call. Make sure you tell them the guys from the next round sent you.
How old were Lewis and Clark when they took on this challenge? Do you know?
I'd say in their 40s.
Oh, I think they were younger than that.
Oh, I would have guessed 20s.
I'll tell you.
Two 40-year-old men?
So Meriwether Lewis, 18. It doesn't even have what year he was born.
Is there a chance we don't know?
Yeah, I mean, the birth certificate probably wasn't what it is now, right?
Lewis and Clark Expedition. I'm pulling it up on what you call it.
It seems like we would have sent a couple of 20-year-olds to do this job.
Well, I would want somebody.
Lewis was 29 and William Clark was 33.
So 29 and 33 for Lewis and Clark. And Sacagawea was how old when they brought her in? 16.
We probably don't want to get into that.
Yeah, that's going to be dicey.
No, I think they thought she was 16. I don't think it's as bad.
Well, it's not like they could court her.
No. Yeah. No. But she was in All right, so she was 13, they believe, I think, Sacagawea, when they sold her into marriage.
Eesh.
Her family sold her into marriage, though, right?
It was tradition back then.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
No. They were taking care. I mean,
Dunaway. They traded her for a bushel of corn, it says here.
Dunaway, we're going to have to tell the whole story. It's going to be tough stories in here. Sacagawea, it's not all pleasant with her.
But to my point, Lewis and Clark, Tom Cruise can't play one of them. He's too old.
Yeah.
So do you have anybody in mind that could play this?
I'm sure the Timothy Chalamet could play the one that wasn't the redhead.
There you go.
And
Pablo Pascal plays in everything. What's that old cat's name?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. He's in
way
everything.
too old. Way
Is he
too old.
Yep.
He can play something.
And well, I don't want to say Lewis and Clark were Americans.
They weren't.
They became Americans.
Yeah.
No likeness, though. So the William Clark looks a little like Peter Gammons with red hair. So
Okay.
help me out there. Everybody looked much older back then than they do now.
Well, I think you walk 2 years through wilderness, it's gonna age you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, people didn't tap 50 back then, right?
They did not. I don't know who would play them. I'm not good at this. Tyler, you watch a
I'm
billion
usually
movies.
am, but I can't get a good likeness because it's just
movies,
paintings.
Tyler. And give me Sacagawea, too.
At this point, you don't have to go likeness, I don't
Yeah,
think.
no, nobody knows what they look like.
Rihanna's going to play Sacagawea.
I'm going to go Eddie Redmayne for
Okay.
William Clark.
There we go.
And then I was thinking Lily Gladstone for Sacagawea, but she's too old to be Sacagawea.
You're doing the Indian typecasting now.
Yeah, who was the wife in Yellowstone? Casey's wife.
Yeah, very annoying, but I forgot her name.
Was there a woman in Yellowstone you liked? I mean, if Beth was annoying, the wife was annoying?
No, not at all.
I don't envision Sacagawea having a lot of lines, though. So I don't know how annoying she could be. She just points a lot, right? We're going that way. Yeah, eat and point. We're going that way.
Yeah, I don't think you can subtitle. They don't even know the language, right?
Don't go that way.
Yeah, really. They don't know. I don't guess what she's supposed to.
Let's do our college football spotlight today. The cover of EA Sports' new college football edition is out. It's our spotlight. It is brought to you by Alexander Shunnarah. Hit it, Tyler.
The college football spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight. Our guy, Alexander Shunnarah, headquartered in Birmingham for more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. One of Alexander's missions was creating a firm that could handle any issue his community faced. They now handle not only any personal injury claim, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
We got a cover. Let's put everybody on it. Here we go. Oh, no, this is the specialty cover. This is the two wide receivers, the best two in the country, according to EA Sports College Football. Ryan Williams of Alabama and then Smith of Ohio State. They are the two guys on that cover. But Forrester, explain to me, that's an alternate cover? That's not the deluxe cover?
Well, I think this is that's the main cover that most people will probably get. But
okay. This is the main cover.
Here's the deluxe.
Yeah, they're still on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're up front
with a bunch of
Got
people.
a lot of coaches in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, Kirby, Ryan Day,
James Franklin.
I take it they pieced this
Dan
thing
Lanning,
together. This was not a sit-down shoot for everybody.
No,
was it?
no, not everybody went to the Rose Bowl. All right, y'all stand still.
Yeah, I see Lane and Dan Lanning there.
Tim Tebow's in there.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, why would you not sneak him in there?
Why is he in there? Can I play like great teams from history?
I bet you probably can, yeah.
Who's in the SMU?
Eric Dickerson.
No, right there behind Jeremiah Smith and the kid from Penn State. Right next to James Franklin. Who's that guy?
SMU?
Is that not SMU? No.
That's Tim Tebow.
Are you talking about DJ Lagway next to
No, that's
Tebow?
That's Tim Tebow, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a Florida Gator. I think you're mistaking that for an SMU.
From where I'm sitting, it looks like a Mustang running.
How in the hell does James Franklin get second row?
That's crazy. Isn't
Billing
it?
right by Tim Tebow.
I mean, he is the most prominent. He and Kirby are the two most prominent coaches on here. He's in front of Ryan Day.
Do you think there's a chance that one day Franklin could go down as the most overrated coach in the history of college football?
100% there's that chance. I mean, maybe right now, right?
I think he probably is the most overrated coach right now.
Yeah.
Do you see Aubie or Big Al in there anywhere? I see the Duck.
I see the Duck and I see Uga, but that's it.
I see the Tennessee Hound.
I see an Indiana flag.
Smokey, thank you for the correct name there. I think when I said Tennessee Hound, I think
the Clemson methed up Tigers back there by the first down marker. You see him?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
How does that one make it?
Yeah, old meth head tiger.
I see the Seminole, yeah.
That's got to be one of the worst mascots.
It's crazy. Well, the laziest mascot's Kansas State. That's the laziest mascot I've ever seen. But the unintentionally scariest mascot is Clemson.
Yeah, the Stanford tree is pretty lazy.
It's not as lazy as Kansas State. That's the worst one I've ever seen. I mean, that was the laziest mascot they could have ever put together.
Who's the coach on the left side of the duck, right on the other side of Kiffin?
Dan Lanning.
No, that's Dan Lanning. On the other side is doing.
Oh, Dillingham isn't there?
Doing his hands like
Dillingham?
this. Yeah, okay. That's the fork. Yeah. Okay, it's a lot of people.
Got Marcus Freeman a little bit ahead in front of him.
I see Marcus. Yeah. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it or not.
Yeah, Dillingham's another one that's getting overplayed.
Yeah.
Did you?
Speaking of which, next segment before we do your 4 downs, I'm gonna do a blind. Since Brown went to Disney, Tower of Terror. I'm going to give you 5 teams. Arizona State's one of them. Of
who drops off the most?
Who drops off the most?
Tower of Terror. Huh?
Tower of Terror.
Right.
And we'll make the sound. That's our spotlight.
Del Decca, father of 3.
Brought to you by Alexander Shunnarah. The show today also being brought to you by great friends at Odie's. Y'all don't miss trivia tomorrow night, thinking today's Monday.
No.
It's tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Hopefully this weather will clear up a little bit. I think it's raining where we are right now. At least it sounds like that.
We're about to lay sod at my house. You all get ready for a drought. I mean, it has rained for 3 straight weeks. They're about to put some sod down in a part of my yard.
Yep.
We will not get any rain.
6.9 inches in 72 hours in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'm supposed to. I think it's tomorrow. Mario told me tomorrow he may lay the sod, so get ready for a drought.
Odie's Tavern, though. Tomorrow night we will be out there. The original location in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Great food from Rodney Davis. Both of those locations, from the award-winning wings, delicious burgers, fantastic sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets, the Odie's famous cocktails. Every Friday, Saturday, live music. But tomorrow night, mark it down, 8 o'clock, original location, Crestline. Come out and see it. It's Birmingham Institution. It's Odie's Tavern.
Congratulations to Oklahoma, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and Ole Miss out of the SEC. UCLA, Texas Tech, Brownie. They're paying for softball, too.
Guns up.
And Oregon. They are the 8 teams in the Women's World Series in Oklahoma City.
Didn't Texas Tech bought the pitcher, right? And that's
the pitcher from Stanford.
Yep.
And then Oklahoma hosted Alabama and beat the brakes off of them. Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and Ole Miss are all out of there. Texas A&M was the number 1 overall seed and got upset by Liberty, who went on to lose in the Super Regionals. But Texas A&M, number 1 overall, couldn't get out. By the way, Texas A&M baseball, after going to the World Series last year, playing in the championship game, lost their coach to Texas. They were the preseason number 1 team with Virginia in D1 baseball's preseason top rankings.
Where'd they finish?
Texas A&M or Virginia, neither one of them even made the NCAA tournament.
Like, I don't think A&M would have made Hoover back in the day, would they? Until everybody got to come to Hoover. I think A&M might have missed it.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Overall number 1 to start the year.
Preseason number 1 and number 2, according to D1 baseball, and neither one of them made the baseball tournament. Football, we never miss that bad, do we?
I don't know.
We always have one team in the top 10 that drops out.
Finishes unranked. Yeah.
That missed the tournament.
At least one.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, a little blind taste test. We'll also do the 4 downs for today and a lot more college football for the final 90 minutes of the show that's being brought to you today by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. I got by there, LT.
Did you get a Boston butt?
I did not. I got by there before we got to the weekend. I got home, wanted a quick little dinner. Their chicken salad, I think it's a little Cajun-based Creole chicken salad, is so dang good. They make it right on spot on. Right
everything is prepared in-house right there. Obviously, the meats are chopped fresh, whether it's the ribs, the award-winning steaks, great chicken. But stop in, see Jim and the incredible staffs. Both locations, the original Cahaba Heights, newest location in Greystone, Highway 119. Fresh meats, deli sandwiches, catering, fine wines, desserts, one-stop shop, rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
All right, back with you on the Next Round LTD and be with you. We're 88 days away from the start of the college football season, 100 days away from the start of the NFL season. Some basketball news continues to happen out there. Yax Lendeborg, Yaxel from UAB, has pulled out of the NBA draft, so he will play for Michigan. So he's going to take the Michigan money, estimated to be about $4 million.
Wow.
And he's going to go do that and then go to the draft next year. So he's got one more year left after a couple of years at UAB and was a star there in the American. He's going to go give it a run in the Big Ten with a star-studded cast up there, and we'll see what Yax does in the Big Ten.
You know, Yax is one of these guys, we've talked about the situations in Tuscaloosa and Auburn where he's falling late first, early second. And if you're going to make $4 million, the safe play is to come back and, refine the skills a little bit, get a little bit better, and then next year solidify yourself as a first-round guy.
Playing against different competition, though, so it'll be interesting to see how his numbers hold up.
But it could help you.
It could help you.
Yeah.
Could hurt you.
His numbers might go down, but they might be able to evaluate him and say, hey, against a better level of competition, this guy's game held up.
Yeah, I do think in Dusty May's system, he's going to be really good.
Carter Knox comes back to Arkansas. Tahad Pettiford, deadline's coming, hasn't made his decision yet. Worked out for the Brooklyn Nets last week. Is working out, according to Justin Hokanson of On3 Sports down at Auburn Live. Toronto and Atlanta this week. You can go follow that with Tahad Pettiford to see what happens next with him. His decision is pending and should happen pretty soon. P.J. Haggerty, the guy who wanted $4 million on the open market NIL-wise, averaging 21 points per game, found his home. Memphis was offering him $3 million to stay at Memphis. He went and shopped himself around. He ends up at Kansas State for $2.3 million, less than $3 million.
Why?
Well, because these guys aren't really thinking, and you've got other people that are directing them.
His dad was his agent.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds like a bad agent.
Yeah.
I've got $3 million to stay where I was, which was a pretty solid basketball team, or take less money to go play on a team that I don't think Kansas State was in the field of 68.
It's amazing how blood exploits blood just to make a little bit of money, when he would have been in such a better situation just staying where he was.
Or going to the draft. 21
I mean,
points per game.
Yeah, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
We did his first game in a Memphis uniform last year, that exhibition game.
He stood out.
Yeah.
The Torvik ranking had Kansas State 68th in the nation before P.J. Haggerty, with P.J. Haggerty 44th. So not a tournament lock by any stretch of the imagination. So he could have left a team likely to make the tournament to go to a team not likely to make the tournament for less money.
Everybody's saying this Pop Isaacs pickup from Creighton is a big pickup for Bucky. I'm just going by what the basketball people are saying.
Yeah.
Bucky McMillan at Texas A&M gets him out of the transfer portal.
Do you think Bucky's loving this? The NIL money a little bit different in College Station?
Yeah, I would say so. I got a little better budget than what I could scrape
But it is going to be
together.
fascinating because, he's got a certain athlete he's looking for in that system, and to be able to identify those guys and then go pay them.
Yeah.
This thing could work a lot quicker than people expect for Bucky and Texas A&M basketball.
Our friends at Champions Boxing brings us our 40 and 40 every day. I've been gone for a long, long time. There's no open for this, right?
There is no open for this.
It's a question that has endured 15 years of us together. I've always asked, is there an open for this?
For a moment, I almost had them produce this is a generic open for Dunaway.
Yes.
Just to throw anytime you ask that, but we never did that.
Yeah. Is there music behind the 40 and 40?
There is not music behind the 40. Generally, what we've done here is you set it up, Lance reads the live, and then you throw to the graphic.
Okay.
We have video support.
Okay, it's Champions Boxing brings you the 40 and 40.
Hey, boxing for fitness and competition. Look, you got a teenager at home this summer. They really don't have anything to do. You want to get them a little activity, get them a little focus. They can do it at Champions Boxing. Look, you don't have to spar ever. We've been doing it a couple of months yet. We've only gotten in the ring one time. It was no sparring. It was just some footwork. Official sports boxing coordinator for the 2025 World Police and Fire Games held in Birmingham this July. Coaches have experience in the amateur, professional, Olympic levels. Any former athlete looking to try another sport to compete in after high school or college, this could be perfect for you. Again, team, family-oriented, helps in teaching discipline and fundamentals. Jack has lost 15 pounds. I've lost over 10 pounds. It's awesome stuff. Incredible trainers. You see my man Jake there working with Jack. Akash, Mailman. Get in. Check them out. Tell them the guys from the next round sent you. You're going to love it. It's Champions Boxing.
All right. Our 40 and 40 team up to 31 today. LT says way too low. It is Boise State that slides in. If you missed it last week, Georgia Tech, Wisconsin, Florida State, Iowa, Baylor. Ahead of all those teams, LT, is Boise State. Why are they too low?
I just think Boise State is going to be much better than people think. It's the Ashton Genty loss here that everybody's focused on.
That's a pretty big loss.
Understandably.
No, it's definitely a big loss, but you've got a guy in Sire Gaines that played got really significant action in the opener against Georgia Southern. He goes for over 100 yards. He gets hurt in Game 3. He's out the remainder of the year. You got 7 starters returning on offense. Maddox Madsen, much better than expected last year. I think Spencer Danielson, really, really good coach. You've got a legit 8 starters coming back on this defense. And when you look at the schedule, they're going to be
team.
Underdogs in one game.
They play one ranked team, and they'll be an underdog in that game at Notre Dame.
Now, they got a tough opener against South Florida, but outside of that, they're going to be favored in 11 games, and whether or not they win those or not. And they've created a brand name, so they get benefit of the doubt when you're looking at Group 5 teams.
Incidentally, that's a Thursday night season opener against USF. That'll be one of your Thursday night games. If I've got the time right, 4:30 on ESPN. I need to confirm that. That's a weird start time, isn't it?
4:30 Central?
4:30 Central time, ESPN, the first Thursday of the season. That is an early kick for a Thursday.
So, in Tampa, a lot of heat there with Boise State playing there. Wouldn't surprise me if USF wins that game. Eastern Washington's an FCS team, pretty good. Maybe transitioning up. I can't remember. Air Force on the road, App State, at Notre Dame. You guys mentioned New Mexico, UNLV, at Nevada, Fresno State, San Diego State, Colorado State, and Utah State. South Florida, Notre Dame, UNLV, Fresno. Four interesting games for them.
Look, those are, interesting is the right way to probably put this. I do think South Florida is a dangerous game, but they've got one of the best offensive lines in football. They gave up 15 total sacks. Cage Casey, one of the best left tackles, second-team All-American last year, got offered like 1.5 to leave Boise State, didn't leave Boise State, which was, a big keep for Spencer Danielson. If you ask me Field or Boise for Group 5, I probably take Field, but if you're just asking me one team, I think it's Boise.
But when you're saying way too low at 31, if Boise played Baylor tomorrow, who do you take?
Boise.
Brown?
If Boise played Baylor tomorrow in Waco, probably Baylor, and Boise, probably Boise.
Yeah.
It would depend on where they're playing.
And y'all did Florida State last week. You did Wisconsin last week. You taking Boise over all those teams?
Oh, yeah.
You take Boise over Florida State?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, they would have beat their eyes out last year.
Yeah, they would have absolutely destroyed them. Look, Ashton Genty, I said this. I think he's maybe the best player that came out of the draft last month. And I think that's going to be a significant loss just because he's one of the best running backs we've ever seen. Sire Gaines kid is going to be really good. The offensive line is really good. Boise knows how to win.
Real quick, that is a 4:30 Central Time kick, Boise USF Thursday night. It's part of the doubleheader. The back half of that double dip is Nebraska, Cincinnati, and Kansas City, which is slated to kick at 8. So 4:30 and 8 on the first Friday night. Or Thursday night, excuse me.
Did you have Boise in your top 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had them at 15.
Yeah, not a lot of people had them.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people had them in their top 25, which is how you end up at 31. A few people
I get
did.
it. I think they're low. Now, we'll see.
Yeah.
15 feels a bit high. I feel like you got them too high. Again, and some of that's just going to be eye test because they're going to play one ranked team. Now, if they beat Notre Dame, all bets are off at that point. They're probably in the playoffs.
This is the last year of the Mountain West as we know it. Boise will be transitioning into this new Pac-12 in 2026. So I think it would be so fitting. A conference they have dominated forever. They went 7-0 in the conference last year en route to winning 12 games. I don't think UNLV, with what UNLV has lost in Dan Mullen's first year, is going to be able to compete with them. I think they dominate this conference this
That's
year.
our 40 and 40 today with Boise State, which gets us to 4 downs. Before we do 4 downs, let us tell you about our friends at Twin Peaks. Wonderful folks there to go by and enjoy. Well, first of all, the scenery.
Indeed, yeah.
Hey, speaking of the scenery, how about this, Dunaway? The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2025 is on.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Voting for Miss Popular officially live. Head over to the 2025 MissTwinPeaks.com to learn more about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girls. If you're back in the office for the first time since the Memorial Day break, there you go, in 3D, coming at you. Scenic views from every seat, 29-degree beer. No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything from tequila cocktails, extensive bourbon category, to top-shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails, round out an adventurous drink menu, second to none. And don't forget about, again, those 29-degree signature drafts at Twin Peaks.
I'm always thankful for 29 degrees beer when I'm there. I like
it's
the cold
quite
beer.
cold.
I like the cold beer. All right, let's do first down.
First down.
Okay, what happens first? Boise State back to the playoffs or LSU back to the playoffs?
Both could happen this year, but I would take LSU. I'll take a different group of 5 team this year. A lot of people are picking Navy to be that team this year to sneak in there. I could see where they would get an emotional vote if it came down to Navy or Boise State from the selection committee, having them ranked higher. I'm going to go LSU. I think LSU's in. They're my pick to win the national championship, so I'll take LSU.
I would say, though, Boise pulls that one upset over Notre Dame. Oh, yeah, they're going to beat Notre Dame. Well, Northern Illinois did last year.
Yeah.
That was a good Notre Dame team. Boise pulls that one upset. They've all of a sudden probably got a game to play with in terms of getting – they could absorb a loss, maybe 2, depending on how the rest of the group of 5 went. So I think I'd go Boise here, actually.
Second down.
Then I know your answer to this. I was going to say who gets to a college football playoff sooner, Boise or Auburn?
Again, I mean, it's an easier path for Boise than it is Auburn or LSU or Texas or Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, you say that.
I do.
You got to be one of one.
But yeah, it's one of one.
But they just did it last year. You look at that schedule, even if they don't beat Notre Dame, you could still get there. And who else scares you out of the group of 5 jumping up? And you just did it. You're the name team in the group of 5. You were just in the playoffs, so you enter with that cachet.
But you do have more of a margin of error if you are Auburn. You can lose 2 games and get in. Boise, depending on who the one loss is.
You do this for me, though. You've got to make the college football playoff to save your family's life. Would you rather be the coach at Boise State, Auburn, or LSU?
LSU. Yeah, I mean,
you're talking about most likely 4 teams out of the SEC this year.
Yeah, that's what I would say 4. So is LSU in the top 25% of the? Because you got to be in the top 1% of the Group 5.
You do, but I don't know if.
Okay, according to Grok, the AI chat.
Okay.
The best Group of 5 teams this year, Boise State.
All right.
The team I picked, Memphis.
Okay.
Tulane, which is very popular, USF, and James Madison. USF, first game,
they play week 1.
Beat them head-to-head week 1 in Tampa in that heat.
And then you got
they're going to have that advantage the entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go LSU.
Third down.
But over Auburn, I'll go Boise.
More wins this year.
Yeah.
The Broncos or the Broncos? Denver or Boise?
I mean, if Boise gets to 11...
Yeah, the answer here is going to be Boise State, in my opinion. I don't think Denver can back it up and get double-digit wins. They may get to 9. I don't think Boise loses 3 games.
No, I think the AFC West is going to be a lot better because Kansas City's still going to be good. Chargers are getting better in year 2. You look at this Denver team, year 1 with Bo Nix, I do think they probably take a step back. They're still going to be really good. And then the Raiders, by the way, Ashton Genty, Pete Carroll's first year, I think they're going to be improved.
Okay.
So I would agree. I think Boise gets more wins here.
Yeah,
Boise for me too.
I think I'd go Boise.
Yep. Thanks for
Fourth down.
Thanks for not saving the graphic.
No, I'm not going to save the graphic. Broncos fans are going to hate us.
Okay, more rushing yards this year. Ashton Genty in his 17 games with the Raiders, if he stays healthy, or the entirety of the Boise State football team?
I mean, I'd go Boise. It's hard to be a 1,000-yard rookie rusher. As good as he is. I mean, that's asking a lot of a rookie running back.
Yeah, it's averaging what? How many yards a game? 70-something?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, that gets you close. I can't do the math on 70 times 17.
Yeah, I would say Boise was one of the few teams that had more rushing yards than passing yards last year.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that again. But I'm just saying.
3,300 rushing yards?
Yeah, but I mean, if they cut that in half, that's, I mean, a rookie to have 1,500, 1,600 rush yards is hard to do.
Key to their success is running the football. He says their offensive line is back.
Yeah.
So they'll run the ball. I'll take Boise.
I do too. I'd take Boise.
Yeah, I would take Boise too.
Yeah. And that's 4 downs?
That's 4
Were
downs.
there bad celebrity birthdays? We just
Terrible celebrity birthdays today. You've got your dry erase board out.
Yep.
Number it 1 to 5 for me.
Oh, 5.
Yeah. How quick can you find a screaming? Or maybe you can reenact it for me. Tyler, how good's your scream? If I'm falling down the Tower of Terror at Disney. How does that sound? If all of a sudden the floor falls out and you're falling, give it to me. Are you not a good actor?
High pitched scream, Tyler. High pitched scream. Let's go. Do it. Give us your.
Oh, you're horrible.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, let's shut down the Academy Awards.
Oh, by the
Tyler is
way,
taking that one out.
I don't want to play it because there's too many expletives in it. But some family, a mom took clips. I don't know if mom did it, but mom recorded her son from Little League all the way through college, and it looked like even some minor league baseball, but I think it was at least through college, playing baseball. His name was Charlie.
Yeah.
Just look up Mom Charlie Baseball on any of your feeds, Instagram, Reels, or on TikTok. And the kid has to be like 9 or 10 in the first video. And like he doesn't swing the bat and gets called out for a third strike. And she's like, "Oh, Charlie." And then the next
who's got the potty mouth, mom or Charlie?
Oh, mom. So the next year, he's a little older. It's like, "Oh, Charlie." And then it's dadgummit Charlie. And then it's GD Charlie as he gets older and older. And it's just a series of strikeouts with her.
I thought you were going to tell me Charlie's.
Damn, why didn't Charlie just give up the game of baseball?
I thought you were going to tell me Charlie's in the Major League Draft this year.
I mean, he had to be pretty good because he at least is playing in college.
That's a good point, yeah.
But it's like...
Did she show anything good with Charlie?
No. It's just a sequence of... and I sent it to all my buddies. I said, "Dang, Charlie's mom is on his ass the entire time." It's a good video there. I don't know how I got to that. It was acting. Something about acting. Yeah.
Did you like Tower of Terror? Have you ever ridden it?
I've ridden it. It's not my favorite.
I mean, it's a good ride.
It's in my least favorite park.
What was the one that you regretted immediately?
That was the parachute ride. I don't know what they call it at Six Flags. Yeah. No line. Walked right on me and Anna Kate when she was much younger. And boy,
Six Flags Atlanta?
Six Flags in Atlanta. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I rode that one time.
Every minute of it.
Because people were getting stuck all the time up there.
Yep.
And that's the one where they act like they're about to drop you. And
No.
Then they drop you a little bit.
I say parachutes. It used to be the parachutes, not anymore. But
No, they just take you all the
up
way up.
and then they lean you out.
I did that with Lauren Sisler, Alabama, Clemson, and Tampa. It was
Right, Busch
cold.
Gardens.
Yeah, Busch Gardens. And they take you up.
Yeah, and then it leans you out, and then maybe you spin, and then it plays some creepy music like I can't remember. Oof, terrible.
Tabs.
Hated it. Hated every minute.
But that one did the old act like it was going to drop.
Yeah, I don't think this did that.
And then you were like, oh, and then it dropped you.
Yeah, I saw the video of the dude, and he comes up and he's like, "Oh man, you got to tighten that seatbelt. Y'all seatbelts aren't tight enough." And then they drop them. And the guy's going,
I can't stand that.
Lance has got the scream.
I can't stand that stuff. Okay, 1 to 5. These are the Tower of Terror biggest drops.
Okay, blind ranking.
And I told you that Arizona State would be in here 1 to 5. Let me show you the schedules. Forrester has all the schedules here. Arizona State first. We'll look at the schedule. Probably be easier if we just went after this one. You put up with the schedule you want of these. Here's Arizona State's schedule. That's Northern Arizona, Mississippi State, Montana State, or Texas State. One of those. It's Texas State. Baylor, TCU, Utah, Texas Tech, Houston, Iowa State, West Virginia, Colorado, Arizona. So you're putting at number 1 the one that'll have the biggest drop. So number 5 is the least drop of the 5. These were really good, positive seasons last year for these 5 teams.
I think I'm going to go right in the middle, Lance. I'm going to go 3rd for Arizona State. That is not a layup schedule for them. I think, first of all, at State, week 2. That's
I think
tough game.
3 is really good.
Yep.
The win total is 8.5. They won 11 last year. I think they're probably 8-4. So 3-game drop for me.
3 games, so that puts them in the middle.
Yep. So I got Arizona State at 3.
Okay. Now, Boise State's on. I was going to let Forrester do it.
Let's go Boise State.
We're going to do Boise State next, Forrester. I'll let you pick the other 3. Boise State is next. We just saw their schedule. They're our 40-40 team. Remember, number 1 would be the least drop of the teams I'm going to give you.
Least drop is number 1?
Yeah.
And Boise State had 1 loss last year. Is that right?
2 losses, with the playoffs, Yeah, they ended up being 12-2.
I mean, I don't know if Dunaway's going to throw me a curveball here, but I'm going to go Boise State number 1. I think they'll have the least drop off there.
I think that's Oh, you're getting better, Tyler.
That was a lot.
That scared the piss out of me.
Yeah.
Is that a robbery? Is that Lewis and Clark?
They just saw the big...
I am going to go Boise at...
No. Remember, 1 is the least drop. 5 is the most drop.
Okay.
So you're going 1.
I am going to go... I'm going to go 2. I'm going to hold out on 1.
Dunaway could be, it could be throwing us a curveball. All right.
Yeah, because I do think Boise will drop, but I think it's only by a game.
Okay. I don't know what we're doing on Tower of Terror now.
Okay, 3 others. These teams were all very popular last year, sort of Cinderella models. Who's next, Forrester?
That's SMU.
The Ponies.
Yeah, see their schedule. Guess that first one. Anybody?
I've seen it. I think I've seen it. Isn't it like some school that just changed their name, like East Texas State University or something?
Very good, Brown. Who is it, Forrester?
It's Briarwood Christian.
Yeah.
It's East Texas A&M.
East Texas A&M. Yeah. I think that was Texas A&M Commerce back in the day or something like that. But they changed their name, and it sounds like a made-up school for a movie.
Yeah.
East Texas A&M.
So that's a win.
I'd give them the dub.
Baylor. Who's that third one? Is that Montana?
That's Samford, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, the battle for the hymnal. 2 Baptist schools playing.
I think they're 8-4. I think.
No, is it not? I thought they played Samford. Oh, that's Baylor.
I wish I would have put them ahead of Arizona State, but I'm going to put them at 4.
Put them at 4?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty big drop for SMU then.
Well, I mean, from 11 wins, I think there's 4 losses on there.
That is Montana State.
Yeah.
It's close to Samford.
I knew if I kept saying to Montana.
Bobcats are not a layup, especially if they play that one in Bozeman.
I'm with Lance. I'll go number 4 on this one for SMU.
Where did you have Boise?
Number 1.
Okay.
I think they dropped the
we're
least.
close.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Okay, who's next, Forrester?
Let's go Indiana.
Indiana.
The Hoosiers.
Well,
why do they have horns coming?
I wondered the same thing.
That's a good question.
Yeah, really. Why do they?
The bull by the horns? Question mark? I don't know. Yeah. Why would they have horns?
Okay, ODU, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. So they're 3-0. Then Illinois, Iowa, Oregon, Michigan State, UCLA, Miami of Ohio. No, Maryland. Is that Maryland or Miami of Ohio?
Maryland. They're a Big Ten play now, Maryland.
It's black and gray.
Yes.
Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. That's not a tough schedule.
No, it's not. I've got them at 9-3. Their win total's 8.5 right now, so that would be a 2 drop. Oof.
Man, I think I'm going to put them second, though, Lance. And this is bad. You've only got number 1 left. I've got 5 left. But
I'd put them at 1 if I was ULT.
I am going to put IU at 1.
I got them number 2 behind Boise, but this means I am locked in. We're both locked into number 5 for the biggest drop in college football.
I think you did okay.
Okay, because I don't know who you're about to come with here.
Yeah, pretty Cinderella team last year.
Don't do Penn State or something like that.
Hit it, Forrester. Colorado.
Colorado. Yeah, we keep doubting.
Yep.
We're probably going to be wrong again.
Georgia Tech, opening Thursday night.
I think that's a loss.
I think it's a loss. Delaware should be a win.
Yeah, it should be.
Houston, Wyoming, BYU.
See, that's a forgiving part of their schedule till they get to BYU. I think that's a loss.
So they could be 3-2.
That's right.
Then TCU, Iowa State, Utah, Arizona, West Virginia, Arizona State, Kansas State. I don't know how many more wins you get.
Tough stretch.
Yeah,
there.
I think they lose to Tech, Houston, BYU, TCU, Iowa State, Utah.
That's a big drop.
I think 4-8.
Yeah.
4-8, yeah, so I'll put them at 5 too.
I'm very happy that I saved the final spot there.
Yeah, little fun with our team Boise State today in our 40 and 40 countdown. We'll move to number 30 into the top 30 tomorrow on the show. That's being brought to you today by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. 1 more hour to go. Michelson reminds you, see life clearly.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask for Amy Toe, the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama-born, Alabama-raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, Forrester and I have a couple of college football stuff we're going to get to this final hour of the show that we put together with some friends from On3 Sports and others. We're going to get to that. The SEC meetings ongoing in Destin. Steve Sarkisian speaking. Brown's about to tell us what Sark is saying at the podium of significance. We started the show with Greg Sankey. If you missed that, it's always available at the beginning of our show. Greg Sankey, the SEC Commissioner, addressed the SEC meetings yesterday, working on a holiday Monday. That's all going on down in Destin. So it's a fun time with the ADs and the basketball coaches and the football coaches, and a lot of business is done. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. I got to see my mom over the weekend. Champy's is always a big part of our plans when I'm in Alabaster. Sterling, the crew, had it rocking and rolling this weekend down there, and you can go by and see Sterling today for lunch. They opened about 7 minutes ago right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Chicken brined overnight, cooked to order, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more, including the hand-cut chicken fingers. It's Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. What is Sark talking about?
Well, he's talking about the college football playoff. Everybody's getting asked about it. 2 things. Number one, he was asked about the idea of not having a conference championship game. Where do you think Sark fell on that one?
He says, I'd be okay with that.
So they were there year one.
Almost won it. Got overtime.
Yeah, I don't think this benefits anybody moving forward, but I think he's going to be a little delicate about it because he is a newcomer in the SEC. So I'm going to say it's got great tradition, history. We're all for it.
You're very close. It's a prestigious honor, and it should continue.
Yeah.
That's what he says about the SEC championship game.
That's going to be a company line. I mean, that's just Greg Sankey being in control of the room. I don't think anybody.
I think Kirby probably would say differently.
Everybody's going to say it. I think everybody's going to say it because of
what happened to Kirby.
They have the respect for the league.
Oh, well, Kirby is the one that's got a legitimate argument. He lost his starting quarterback in an SEC championship game.
Yeah, look, and they won the game.
They won the game, and I don't know if it cost them a national championship. Still don't think they would have beaten Ohio State. Maybe they don't beat Notre Dame with Carson Beck. I don't know, but he lost his starting quarterback in an SEC championship game.
But he's also the only SEC team with a trophy last year.
That is a point. Trophy they would have gotten as the regular season champion, but yes. Steve Sarkisian also says this. I agree with this, and I don't think it's earth-shattering. I just wonder if you guys are willing to say, I agree this will never happen again. I don't think we'll ever see an undefeated national championship again. If we do, build a statue. That's Steve Sarkisian.
We always do this, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think we will.
No, you will. You'll see, because we've almost seen it in the NFL. And look, and I know it's been 53 years now.
That's right.
But we're also talking about
close one time in 53 years.
But they won 19 games.
I know,
or 18
I know.
games.
And couldn't finish
No,
it.
it's been actually twice. I think the Colts.
What's the other one?
Well, because they ended up benching Peyton Manning to end the regular season or something. The Colts had an opportunity at one point.
Yeah, but Tom Brady's Patriots won more than the 72 Dolphins.
They did. They
won more games.
Yeah, but my point was going to be
By
now
a wider margin.
You've got to win 17, and then you've got to win 3. You've got to win 20 games now. In college football, you don't have to win that many games.
So the Colts were 14-0 in 2009. And
Curtis Painter came in.
Lost their last 2 games. The 2006 Colts.
The way I remember, and I could be wrong, they were undefeated. They decided because they had already clinched home field, Curtis Painter came in, and they lost their final 2 games.
And that may be it. I don't know. But either way, Sark says you'll never see it again in college football. So you guys think you will.
Well, Sark will never see it.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's just so it depends on now. A lot of this depends on what they do with these non-conference schedules once we go to a 16-team playoff. If teams continue to schedule hard, and Greg Sankey came out and it got lost in a lot of what he said, but he came out and supported that yesterday, saying that I want to still see our team schedule hard because the fans, that's the game the fans want to see. If they continue to schedule hard, it'll be more and more difficult.
I mean, but now do Ohio State. No, that's not
they
fair.
lost 2 regular season games.
Yeah, Ohio State is they schedule good out of conference games, so that's not fair. But if they win that game.
And they lost 2 conference games.
Okay, so we obviously they lost Michigan, which still was kind of flukish.
And Oregon.
And then Oregon the regular season, and that thing,
that's 2 conference. They had 2
came
conference
down
losses.
to a Dan Lanning masterful plan that he walked into.
Yeah. And then there's Oregon going undefeated and just gets railed in their one playoff game. I tend to agree with Sark. I don't know if you'll ever see it again.
I think Ohio State was close to undefeated last year. I really do.
They
I know
were.
we're 2 losses. But
They were, but they had 2 losses. And I think that kind of supports my point. That was a national championship level team that couldn't skate through a schedule.
Okay, we're going to do a couple of graphics here that I sent Forrester. One of them is conference favorites. Before we get to that, Forrester, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is Company Distilling. Tell us about them.
Yeah, hey, big news. Alabama Company Distilling now available at ABC stores across the state. If you've been waiting to try whiskey that's as good as the company you keep, this is your moment. Find your bottle. Learn more at CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. Must be 21 years or older. Please enjoy responsibly. And here is your chance this week to meet the man behind the bottle, Jeff Arnett, Master Distiller, Company Distilling, former Master Distiller at Jack Daniels. Is going to be at the ABC store, number 80 in Birmingham, May 29th. When is that? Thursday. And then store 53 in Madison on May 30th, which is Friday. Signing bottles, telling stories, and talking whiskey. Again, for more details, visit CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama.
That's a good-looking bottle. Have you tried any yet?
Yes, I have. It's very
Which
good.
one? Which barrel did you try? Because they had a cherry barrel, an apple barrel.
It was the cherry barrel.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm most interested in the apple.
Yeah. Well, look, he's going to be in Thursday. We'll bust them all out.
Okay. Look forward to that. Company Distilling there for part of the show. Also, our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. How can I go on vacation for 10 days off the show and only gain 1 pound? Well, it's because Leslie and her board-certified team at Way to Wellness. The website is aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Go check out everything they offer for you right there. That includes injection therapy. They have meal replacements and also protein bars. I'm in the middle of one right now. Pop me back up. This one's like
what is that?
Caramel crunch one. Peanut butter, caramel. There's a crunch in there, chocolate.
That sounds like a whatchamacallit.
You just got that thing on the side of your desk, naked like that?
I have it sitting on my whiteboard.
Naked?
Yeah, sitting over here on
Sounds
my whiteboard.
good.
It is delicious. Fills me up until I eat lunch later on, about 12:30 today. It's in having one for breakfast in the middle of the way. That's my plan. Your plan is different. Go check it out. No contracts, no sign-up fee. The first consultation's free. Planforme.com. Planforme.com. Way to Wellness. Your journey to healthy living there with those folks. Boise State's our 40 and 40 team today. They are a conference favorite this year for the Mountain West. Here are the others that are the favorites, betting favorites. Clemson in the ACC, Texas Tech, Kansas State, co-favorites in the Big 12, Tulane in the American, Toledo in the MAC, Ohio State in the Big 10, Texas in the SEC, Liberty in Conference USA, Boise, and then James Madison in the Sun Belt. If I asked you, that is 9 conferences, right? That's right, 9 conferences.
Uh-huh.
How many of those do the favorites win? And you get 2 whacks at it in the Big 12. LT, how many of those do you think the betting favorites as of May 24th wins the conference?
I feel really, really good about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5.
Which one?
I feel great about Clemson, Boise, Liberty, Ohio State, and JMU.
I feel good about Clemson. I would take the Big 12
Just
double
because you
dip.
get 2 teams?
Yep.
But boy, it's such an unpredictable conference.
Yeah, I would take the double dip, though. I would take Toledo. I would take Ohio State. I would take Liberty and Boise. And that's it. I'd go 6 of the 9.
The American's interesting. Keith is right. Tulane had a ton hit the portal. I'm a little surprised John Summerall's team is there, including their starting quarterback.
I would think Navy would be more. Navy, Memphis, Tulane, they're all right there. I mean, I think all their win totals are 9.5, 8.5.
That's the thing about the SEC. I saw this morning, Circus Sports. I think Brett McMurphy had it. Circus Sports, he listed the top win totals. Alabama, Texas, Georgia, and one more SEC team. We're all at 9.5.
Yeah, nobody at
LSU.
Nobody at double digits.
Nobody at double digits. And everybody right there at the top. I mean, was
That's why I told you earlier. Nobody's going to ever be undefeated again.
We haven't seen you in a while, and we talked a lot about this Texas team last week as far as the expectations.
The Longhorns?
Yeah, and I picked them to win the national championship.
Yeah, and Brown's got them to win the national championship. I'm not buying them. I think they're going to be good, but like how everybody's got them penciled in, winning the SEC, Arch winning a Heisman, then winning a national championship.
But you know I have LSU. That's my national championship pick.
And you've got who?
I've got Ohio State again.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have LSU in the SEC.
Yes.
Yeah, at least by your ranking.
Because I think I have, I forgot it's Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, 1, 2, 3.
That gets us to On 3 Sports. This is their best 10 out-of-conference games that they put out. And I want us to pick tell me who the favorite is and pick the winner in the best 10 out-of-conference games. Okay. I find this hard to believe these are our best 10 out-of-conference games, but On 3 Sports is very good at what they do. So good that they bought Rivals. Here is, via Pete and Nakos' top 10 non-conference games in 2025. I'll read them, and then we'll go back and for our audio audience, and then we'll go back. You tell me the favorite LT, and we'll pick them. Texas, Ohio State, Clemson and South Carolina, LSU at Clemson, Notre Dame at Miami, Michigan at Oklahoma, Alabama at Florida State, Texas A&M at Notre Dame, Florida at Miami, USC at Notre Dame, and Illinois and Duke makes the list.
I'm guessing Clemson, South Carolina is in front of LSU Clemson only because of where it falls on the schedule, that he's saying perhaps that has massive college playoff implications.
He's buying into the South Carolina expectations, which I am not.
Because to me, LSU Clemson's a better game.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start at 10 and work our way up. LT, who's the favorite? Illinois at Duke.
Boy, it is going to be right around a pick. I am going to list Illinois as a 1-point favorite on the road in Durham.
I will take Illinois in this game.
I will take Illinois, too.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Duke.
Barry Mintz is a good quarterback.
He is a really good quarterback, but boy, Altmaier's got a ton of experience. Yeah. I think Illinois is going to be much more physical, and I think there's so much pressure on Mintz to try to earn this money that he got leaving what's a better football program in Tulane to go to Duke. So I'm with you guys. I take Illinois.
Now it's at Notre Dame, so this is the October version, not November when it's in LA. USC at Notre Dame, 9th on this list. By the time we get to October, this could be a really interesting matchup if USC is cooking.
I think it will be. I think right now, if you listed this game, Notre Dame's probably a 6.5 to 7 point favorite. I think when we play this game, I think Notre Dame will be a 3 to 3.5 point favorite.
Who are you taking?
I think I'd take Notre Dame.
I think I'm going to play USC.
Are we playing the points here, or are we just picking winners?
Just picking winners.
I'd take Notre Dame. You think USC gets this upset, huh?
I think USC is going to be better than advertised.
Yeah.
I think this could be an interesting year for USC.
Notre Dame is still a big unknown at quarterback.
Yeah, that's my whole thing with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Even if Angeli wouldn't have gone to Syracuse, I would feel better about it.
Yeah. Florida and Miami. Now, I caught a lot of heat while I was gone. Taylor did me a favor and released my top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC while I was gone.
I saw you some Jackson Arnold.
Jackson Arnold was 5 on the list.
I know.
A lot of people didn't think Garrett Nussmeier is the best quarterback in the league. That's why I had him at number 1. But I did not have DJ Lagway there. Part of that is the people that are around you.
I saw somebody respond and say, when did DJ Lagway die?
Yeah. DJ Lagway, Florida at Miami. I think Florida is a good football team. I don't think they'll be a playoff contender like everyone else. I think Miami will be.
I think
like Miami.
Florida's schedule way too much. We still don't know about the health of DJ Lagway. Like how close to 100% is he going to be once we kick off the season? Miami's going to be a 3.5 point favorite here. Carson Beck, I mean, if you said, hey, you can have Lagway or Carson Beck right now, I would take Beck. I know they're both coming off of injuries. I've seen more from Beck.
Yeah.
Probably more upside with Lagway, but I would take Miami in that matchup.
It's such a big game for these two coaches, too, by the way.
Now, it's early. It's September 20th.
I know, but still, I mean, that is with Florida's schedule, absorbing a loss to Miami would be really tough in the playoffs. And then with Miami, you lose a lot of these games. That's why I think Florida wins it. I'll take the Gators.
I'm going to go Miami in that one, down in the Hard Rock.
Well, and it's probably a 50-50 crowd at Hard Rock. I would imagine you'll have as many Florida fans there as you do Miami fans.
And Miami will be favored.
Yeah.
Texas A&M at Notre Dame. This is September 13th, which is week 3 or 2? I think that's week 3. Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Notre Dame obviously will be the favorite.
Notre Dame will be a 4.5 point favorite in this one. Marcel Reed for a full year as a starting quarterback. Where are you guys on this?
He's middle of the pack in the SEC.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It did not sniff my top 5.
But I don't know, to your point, I don't know anything about Notre Dame's starter.
Yeah.
I just wonder what A&M would pay Haynes King to come back.
Apparently
not enough.
But Mike Elko is going to build this franchise, this program on defense. And going against Notre Dame, question mark at quarterback, I'm still going to lean Notre Dame wins this game.
It's a big, primetime, meaningful game, which tells me A&M's going to lose it. So I'll go Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I think Notre Dame wins the game.
Pete Nakos is on 3 Sports. 6th best non-conference game for the 2025 is Alabama at Florida State. You guys tell me. You mentioned to me that Brett McMurphy says game day likely to be in Tallahassee.
That's what he said. I asked Brett, are you reporting that or is that an opinion? He says, read it however you want. So I don't know why Brett was being so open-ended with me, but I think Brett's pretty well connected, and I doubt he would throw that out there if he didn't feel pretty confident.
Yeah, this number has climbed up to 12.5. I think it might go off Alabama 14. I think what's going to happen behind the scenes, I think Vegas is starting to hear that Alabama is going to be better than advertised. So I think this number approaches 14 on the road, which they have to be improved. I'm not talking about Alabama.
Yeah.
Florida State's got to be improved.
I think
impossible for them to not be improved.
I think they are.
I think Florida State's improved. You were out for this as well. I talked to somebody within the Alabama program.
So you're telling me y'all did 5 shows?
We did 5 shows.
I was out for a lot of things. I know.
Yes. Within the Alabama program that said best receiver room since 2020. So I think Alabama's loaded back up at receiver. I don't know what that – it only helps Ty Simpson.
This is a quiet team that nobody's going to be talking about. I think DeBoer is still a top 5 coach, in my opinion.
I think Alabama's going to be really good.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really good, too, and I think they probably walk Florida State off the field. I would be shocked if Alabama lost that game.
Yep, I would be too.
I'll take Alabama to win it. I don't know about covering 14 down at Doak. Now the top 5 games. Michigan at Oklahoma. That is a September 6th.
This is a tough
game.
one. Tough one. I think Oklahoma here.
I like Oklahoma a lot in this one.
A lot. What's the point spread?
Well, John Mateer will show out in this game. Oklahoma's going to be a 2-3 point favorite. Underwood, that is a difficult game for a true freshman on the road.
And do we think he'll win the job to be starting in that game?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, if you're Shunnarah Moore, if you're paying this kid $10 million,
yeah.
I mean, much like Raiola last year at Nebraska, I think you got to play this guy.
And you got Brent Venables' defense.
Yeah, so I think Venables is going to focus more on the defense. You bring in a 29-year-old offense coordinator in Ben Arbuckle. You've got Jade Knott back there to lean on. And Mateer, I mean, that 1-2 punch of Mateer and Ott, and I know a lot of people are like, it's a Cal kid and it's a Washington State kid. I think their game translates to the SEC.
But to those people, the doubters' points, it'll be Arbuckle's biggest game he's ever coached in as a coordinator.
Yep.
It'll be Mateer's biggest game he's ever quarterback in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
On the biggest stage in front of the most people.
Underwood, the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think there is there's a lot of pressure on Venables, obviously, going into year 4. Significant pressure on Shunnarah Moore in year 2.
Yeah. Be interesting to see if Shunnarah Moore's coaching in that game.
Oh,
he is.
Because of the suspension? I mean, that's where the suspension falls unless they adjust it.
He's coaching in it right now.
He's coaching in it unless they adjust the suspension.
Unless they adjust it because, he wants to coach against, a former All-American offensive lineman for Oklahoma, wants to coach against his alma mater.
Okay, now the top 4 games, non-conference, Notre Dame at Miami. I don't really know if this is worthy of being here. This is more history that gets it to number 4 in my opinion.
Catholics and convicts, we all remember. Sunday night game. This is the Sunday night between Labor Day and the opening Saturday.
August 31st there, and it's down at Hard Rock, so it's a true home game for Miami.
Boy, I like Marcus Freeman a lot, much more than Cristobal, but I think Miami wins this game. Notre Dame right now is a 1.5 point favorite. I lean that Miami wins the game.
Whoever that Notre Dame starter is, this is a tough spot.
Tough game.
Tough spot.
Hot as hell, by the way, on Sunday, August 31st.
That's right. I think I would go Miami in this one as well.
We trust that Carson Beck, he's now cleared to do all football activities, that he's going to be healthy again and have his mind right.
How many times do you think on that broadcast that we see the Cavender twins?
One time.
Okay.
Are they still dating?
I mean, if they are dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one time.
But do they shy away because of the Brent Musburger thing now? We had AJ on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Great answer by AJ on that, though, by the way. Go watch that Coca-Cola conversation on demand at YouTube with AJ McCarron.
Yeah.
I'd never really heard him talk at length about that situation, and I thought his answer was fantastic.
Yeah. He's turned into a really great broadcaster. Better broadcaster than I am a quarterback.
Okay.
I believe that.
I didn't know where that sentence was going.
LSU and Clemson, August 30th, opening weekend.
Lance made the argument last week that this actually is just as big as Texas-Ohio State.
I would see that. I mean, for me, it's my national champion on the road against a guy who's won 2 national championships.
Well, and how much pressure is there for Brian Kelly?
A ton. He never wins these games.
And this is a game that Clemson, if Dabo really is back in the fold to win a national championship, to be one of the premier teams in college football, you get hell of a test week 1 against an LSU team that is going to be so hungry.
Well,
I do think there's more pressure on Brian Kelly.
It's more of a free pop for Clemson. Clemson can lose this game and be okay. LSU loses this game, and boy, your margin for error is very, very small.
I lean Clemson. I think LSU might ultimately be the better team, but I lean Clemson in this spot.
I think I'll take Clemson here, too. LSU has not won these games a lot.
I think LSU wins this one, though, in my opinion. Clemson and South Carolina at the end of the year.
Boy, it's so hard to know. The game's in Columbia, though.
Yeah. I'm not buying South Carolina.
South Carolina won it in Death Valley last year.
Yeah, I think by the time they play, Clemson could be a 5-6 point favorite. I think if they played right now, Clemson would be a 2 or 3 point favorite.
Because of the street cred South Carolina has.
Yep.
Yeah, give me the payback for Clemson in that one.
I'll take Clemson in that one, too. And then the biggest one, I think everybody agrees, Texas and Ohio State on that opening weekend, August the 30th. The favorite's going to be Ohio State, right? Because they're at home.
Yeah, and I think Ohio State wins this game. They're -3 right now. I mean, Arch Manning's first significant start.
Yep, I'm going to take Texas. I'm going to be consistent here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State in that one. So just that opening weekend, Brownie. Texas, Ohio State's on this list.
Fantastic.
LSU and Clemson is on this list. Notre Dame and Miami is on this list. Alabama and Florida State's on this list.
You still got Auburn Baylor, which wouldn't make this list, but that's a good Friday night.
Auburn Baylor. Pull up week 1. Now, there are some people who are making the case.
Yeah, I've got it right here.
You got it?
Some people are making the case that it could be the best opening weekend of games we've ever had before. And it seems like we occasionally say this.
Well, I mean,
it was better than last year.
You start on Thursday night, significant games there.
Nebraska-Cincinnati is probably your best Thursday.
Yeah,
it's a fun game. It's a fun game.
It's your best game.
I mean, Nebraska's under a touchdown favorite. Boy, that would be a bad, bad loss.
Oh, it would be for our guy.
Yeah. Then Friday night, Auburn Baylor.
I'm sorry, Lance, to interrupt you, but it's real quick right now. Fox does not have a Thursday night opener that I have seen announced. And I don't know, unless they move a game in, where they would go. Normally, Fox has one and ESPN has one, but I have not seen a Fox announced Thursday night game, and there really aren't a whole lot of possibilities unless they move a game late here.
No, I think the best game might end up being one we talked about earlier with Boise at South Florida.
A 4:30 Central Time kick on ESPN.
But then Friday night, we mentioned Auburn and Baylor. Georgia Tech, Colorado will be fun. On Saturday, Toledo at Kentucky. Would that be a bad loss for Soups to start the year?
Terrible loss.
It would be.
I can't believe you just mentioned that game on the best week one.
I think it's in play, though. Utah at UCLA, old school Pac-12 matchup. What else do we have of significance?
I think we may have hit them all.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I think that may be it.
I mean, Tennessee-Syracuse could be fun.
I mean, it's your early game straight out of game day. It's going to be your first taste of college football on a Saturday in a neutral site.
And I know Dunaway would love to see Virginia Tech knock off South Carolina.
Well, you
on
have
Sunday.
You have TCU, North Carolina.
Yeah, that'll be
Monday night.
So do you think we see Jordan Hudson more than we see the Cavinder twin?
I don't know how you manage that.
I don't know how you work that one in. Yeah.
If you're ESPN, I don't know what you do with that.
Well, you can't ignore it, but it's going to be so hard on the other side. Hey, we really need to ignore this.
Opening weekend, you also have Utah, UCLA, which will be interesting. Right? That's interesting. That's a
I mean, I brought up old school Pac-12 matchup.
Yeah, I like that one. Oh, so you said that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking while you were talking.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I think we've exhausted that one. Can I make one point on the top 10 non-conference games? If Scott pull it up one more time from on 3. And it's not my thought here. This is Landmine Believer. Look at those games. Does anything jump out about those games to you?
Let's see. There's an SEC team, SEC team.
That's not it.
SEC
I
team.
got a lot of Notre Dame, too. A couple Clemsons.
There's an SEC team in 7 of the 10, though.
They're all on campus. The days of the manufactured off-campus game maybe are dying now. I know we just mentioned Tennessee, Syracuse in Atlanta, and South Carolina playing Virginia Tech in Atlanta. But the top 10 games, that's a pretty good list, I think, by Pete. The top 10 games are all on campus. No more of this neutral site crap, which I'm a fan of. Let's be done with that.
I mean, what neutral site games do we have
I
this
just
year?
mentioned Tennessee, Syracuse, and Georgia. South Carolina, Virginia Tech are the only two I can think of. I mean, outside of the cocktail party and the Red River, which are always neutral site, just the made-for-TV neutral site, we just don't have many anymore. And again, I am okay with that. I kind of like that we've gotten away from that. In fact, I don't know that there's one in Charlotte this year. There used to be one in Charlotte. I'm not certain that they've got one this year.
Are we playing a game in Bristol? The Raceway again? Or is
they're doing baseball this time.
It's baseball.
They're doing that Braves-Reds game.
Yeah. It seems like
I don't think there's a Charlotte, and I could be wrong about this, but I cannot remember Charlotte and Charlotte hosting a made-for-TV game this year. They normally have one in that first week, the Dukes Mayo Classic, and I could be wrong. I may have just missed it, but I cannot remember one this year.
Or at least a good one.
Well,
yeah. All right. That is a little college football there for sure. I appreciate that with all the graphic support. There is
It's a Friday night. Well, it's Appalachian State and Charlotte. I think that's the best they could pull off, but it is a Friday night game. But far from what I was talking about.
The show today being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. Tell us about Woodhouse.
The gift of relaxation. Maybe you're getting out of the doghouse for some reason, or maybe you just want to be a nice guy and get the wife or girlfriend or mom a gift from Birmingham's best day spa, America's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Centers. You can drop in, see Stuart and that great staff, tell them the next round sent you. For more information and to order gifts 24/7 online, you can get that gift card. Let her choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. WoodhouseSpas.com.
And our guy, Alexander Shunnarah, personal injury attorney is what you've always heard Alexander described as. But one thing he wanted to do was create a law firm that could handle anything his community faced. And he has done just that. Shunnarah.com is the website, Shunnarah.com. When you're in need of an attorney, that is right where you start at Shunnarah.com. One thing Alex wanted to do, I mentioned, was create a firm that handles anything his community faces. So now they handle not just the personal injury claim, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. They've recovered more than $2 billion. So let them go to work for you. Shunnarah.com. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Trash is next.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone, the New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Okay, still a lot of fun in this segment before we're done today, including Sean from West Blockton sent me a package. And we'll give you guys a chance to guess what's in the package. Brown's already felt it. Fill the package so you can make an educated guess.
Fill Jim's package, Lance.
Yeah. Okay. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's.
It's a minimal effort on filling the package.
Yeah. Cut that out. LT, fill my package.
Yeah.
I know it's not a gag ball.
Our friends at Champy's bring you this hour of the show. Sterling, a guy down there who delivers a great package of food for you. It's the tailgate capital of the world, in fact. Hand-cut chicken fingers, brined overnight, deep-fried chicken that you can take to the tailgate, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, open for lunch and dinner, great happy hour, great bar scene. It's all right there. Highway 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. Check it out, champyschicken.com. What do you think's in my package? Got a guess?
I guessed it was a key. You had been awarded a key to the city. You forgot to go to the ceremony, so they just mailed it to you.
I think
realistic, but no.
I think it is a Bush Light scarf.
Okay.
Or not scarf, bandana.
Something because my dad passed.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Sean went to a baseball game in Tampa and happened to be there. Hats off to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay.
Because if you know Tampa's history, they had a franchise first this year.
Mm-hmm.
First ever rain out because they played in a dome.
Oh, that's true.
And they had prepared, ready to go, free ponchos to give away for their first rain out.
So you got a poncho. A Rays poncho?
For the first rain delay in Tampa Bay Rays history, they handed those out to all the fans in attendance.
Could have given me a million guesses. I don't think I come up with that one. You can use it today on the course.
I know. You'll need it in a minute. Poncho presented by Budweiser,
Presented by our friends at Budweiser.
That's right.
The Rays' first Rays rain delay in franchise history.
On brand.
Sean in West Blockton, thank you so much. I'll wear it during trash, in fact. Break out the poncho. I'll never fold this back up and get it in there again.
That's the last time we'll ever be in that package.
By the way, I get the feeling ponchos are cheap to make.
I mean, it's plastic.
Yeah.
It's plastic. I have not had a poncho on, and I don't know when.
I think
boy, I tell you what, on a day like today in SEC town, you probably get $20 for whatever that cheap poncho is.
I know.
Right?
And I don't think there's a logo on this. There's no Budweiser logo. There's no Tampa Bay. This is like,
I mean, the Rays went all out on this.
It's a trash bag, basically.
Does it even have a hood on it?
See, I don't think you were supposed to open it. I think it was like commemorative, and I think it's supposed to stay in the package.
Oh, there's the hood.
Yeah, that's not really meant for use.
Well, you could fold it up again.
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah.
Yes.
My bad, Sean.
I'll give you the rest of our life to get it back in that package the way it was. You
Impossible.
Oh, there really isn't a logo anywhere.
No, nowhere. Tyler, it was as low budget as you could get.
Oh, wow.
Well, this is good TV.
Yeah, I wouldn't cover my plants with that thing.
All right.
Yeah, you can tell it was their first rain delay. They have never made a poncho.
What's
before.
a poncho, Tony?
I tell you, I wish it was more colored up top. It didn't show my bald dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'd stay dry in the game.
That basically looks like you went to a dry cleaner and just took the bag off your shirt.
Thank you, Sean. I'll put it in my bag and I'll throw it in my other Rays collection of other things.
But to Sean's defense, really cool that he
Very
thought
nice
about you.
idea, yeah.
And I don't think it was supposed to ever come out of the package.
Yeah, that's my bad there on that one.
Well, you got a nice little Rays Budweiser package you can put stuff in and put in your golf bag. That's what I would do with that.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Hey, the show being brought to you by our friends at Michael's, and a couple more things before we get to trash here.
205-969-8100. Make the phone call that I made years ago, back in 2003, over 2 decades ago. Had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, which only took 12 minutes for both eyes, 2015 vision, better than 2020. Stop wasting money on contacts and solution, eyeglasses every single year. Stop procrastinating. Make the call that I made. 205-969-8100 or MichelSonLaserVision.com.
Auburn scoreboard. Jordan Hare Stadium is looking ready for kickoff. 88 days away from week 0, which means we're about 95 days away for Auburn football. The new scoreboard at the end, they took down the traditional scoreboard of my lifetime, and the new one is up. And the lettering is up.
Your dad's lifetime, too. I think I've been there a minute.
Good-looking scoreboard there, and the AU planted on the outside there, and that's Jordan Hare Stadium, the way it looks down there. Look at that. Adds to the stadium, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it was just, if you were in that one end zone where the actual video screen was, you were kind of screwed. You couldn't see everything.
All the students had to turn around and look. That's basically the students' big screen now. They get a chance to not have to hurt their necks turning around to watch that one. So a good look there at Jordan Hare Stadium. That went up over the weekend. The AU on the outside of it. The lettering is in place, and Auburn is ready for football. Let's see, what else? Oh,
I got some basketball breaking news. But go
breaking news?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's going to surprise
do it here because I got a couple other things before trash.
Alex Condon is coming back to Florida.
Yeah, expected.
Yeah, it's expected, but he is definitely. You mentioned earlier that Yax has pulled his name out of the draft. So there's a trend in that today, and Alex Condon is the latest to do that. He tells the Field of 68, or a source tells the Field of 68 that he's coming back to play for the Gators and getting Boogie Flynn out of the draft as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that Florida team's going to be bad next year.
It'll be pretty good.
Defending national champion, and they're going to be a lot of people's pick to be number one again.
Okay, you mentioned you think the AFC West is still going to be pretty good, LT. A.J. Cole becomes the highest paid punter of all time with the Las Vegas Raiders now. 4 years, $15.8 million contract signed over the weekend. $11 million of that is guaranteed money. He was undrafted in 2018. And
still the third best punter in their history.
And still the third best punter in their history.
Ray Guy.
Shane Leckler,
that's
wow.
right.
How about that? A.J. Cole going to the Raiders. Okay, Bleacher Report ranks the divisions best to worst.
Okay.
Let's start at the bottom. Worst division is?
Worst division is it's either the NFC South or the AFC South. I am going to say that they went with the AFC South.
It is the AFC South. I thought I'd fool you on that one.
I mean, who's really good there?
Nobody.
Texans?
Houston, maybe, but then the rest of those.
Texans, Colts.
Colts don't have a quarterback.
Jaguars, Titans.
Jaguars are married to a quarterback that has underperformed, and the Titans are starting a first-year starter.
Then it's going to be the NFC South.
NFC South. Isn't it ironic that the two southern divisions in the NFL are the weakness, and in every other sport, in college sports, the South is the strongest?
I think next they might go AFC East or NFC West. I think it's the AFC East.
AFC East is correct. Next up, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth toughest.
I think next up is going to be the NFC West.
Nope, they're fourth toughest.
Okay.
This one surprises you guys because y'all overranked this one a little bit. AFC North, according to Bleacher Report.
Well, I think it's going to be really good.
I do too. I mean, you got Al Golden coming in to handle this Bengals defense, which if they can get this deal done with Hendrickson, they're going to be okay. I mean, they're going to be better than they were last year.
Pittsburgh's an unknown because we still don't know about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is. I mean, maybe it is Baltimore we know is going to be really good. We think Cincinnati with Burrow will be okay.
And Pittsburgh's going to be around 500.
Yeah, Pittsburgh and Cleveland aren't going to be that good.
Yeah.
NFC West is fourth. Give me the top three.
Top three are going to be, I think now they might come AFC West.
So 1 or 3?
AFC West is going to be 3.
Okay.
And then 2 is going to be
East.
NFC
I'd go
East,
NFC
and then
North.
NFC North 1.
I'd go to NFC North 1.
Yeah, NFC North
East
should
2.
be 1.
They go AFC West 1. And
One?
They cite the fact that the Chiefs have slid back a little bit, but that the Broncos and the Chargers have gone up and that the Raiders will be better.
Well, I just think
the Raiders will be better.
They will be. That NFC North, though, I mean, the Bears are probably the worst team in that division. And when the Bears are the worst team in a division, that Bears team?
North is second,
and then
NFC
East
is third.
They're again on the NFC East. I mean, the Giants are the worst team. They're a worse team than the Bears.
Yeah.
To me. So I'm okay with that. That's why I went NFC North.
So what
number
Bleacher
1.
Report is saying they think the Raiders are better than the Bears. If you're just going by the back end.
I think it's close.
Yeah. It's close. But, boy, the top of that NFC North, that's what's so good. I mean, Detroit was close to the Super Bowl.
I think they probably do factor in that J.J. McCarthy is going to be starting as opposed
Minnesota?
to – yeah. I still think Minnesota's going to be really
everybody
good.
that started for that guy plays.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all good.
Yep. 100 days until the NFL season begins today. Pretty interesting. Okay, one photograph before we do trash. If you don't think that they used to have fun back in the day, and we do some crazy promotional stuff now, but can you imagine today's best coaches? This is before the 1966 Orange Bowl game. Nebraska's legend Bob Devaney and Alabama legend Paul Bear Bryant in a promotional event. Bryant is strangling Devaney for a photograph while smoking a cigarette.
How much is wrong with that picture now?
Yep. There's only a couple more things they could add in there.
I know.
Look at how much bigger Bryant was than the normal coach back in the day.
So imagine Kirby Smart.
He's got to be on some stairs.
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Bryant was a big man.
No, there's no way.
No, he wasn't that
He's
big.
a foot taller.
Yeah.
Paul Bear Bryant was 6'5".
He was not.
He was a giant of a man.
He was
of course
not
he was.
6'5".
He was 6'5". Well,
He opened seas with his staff.
He's not a Nephilim. Paul Bryant.
I bet he was 6'3", and there's no way he's 5'3".
Yeah, I think he's 5'10", 6'5".
According to the Google search, 6'3" for Paul Bryant.
Lies.
Giant of a man.
Giant of a man. He wrestled a bear.
There's no way he's standing on something. He can't be that much. Was Paul Devaney like 5'1"? Bob Devaney, whatever his old man is. What's his name? Bob Devaney?
I had a free ticket to go with my buddy the other night, but I did not go down to Iron City. You know who was in town celebrating their 30th anniversary?
Only because Lance told me.
Mini Kiss.
Did you not go?
No, so we had an opportunity. I tried to get them in studio. I wanted the little fellas to come in here all made up. But they were like, we can't make it in, but if you want to come interview us before the show, I'm just not a Kiss fan.
Long run. 30 years. That was their 30th anniversary event, their 30th anniversary tour.
It's pretty amazing. I mean,
Really
they've got stories.
Yeah, really good. I mean, my buddy sent me Beth, I Hear You Calling, one of my favorite songs. Uh-huh. And little guys are up there getting the crowd to sway with them.
I think the
do they sing it?
The most obvious question, are your groupies to scale?
My question was about their instruments. The ones they play.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big-ass guitar.
Yeah.
Like, do you hand him a fiddle?
No, one guy plays, the guy that plays the lead guitars, it's a made-to-scale guitar. But the bass player.
So it's made for him. But the bass has got a full-size bass?
Full-size bass.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, or the guitar pick a little bit smaller?
Full-size drum set.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
Are the sticks the same size?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. That gets us to trash. Hit it, Tyler.
Congratulations, The Cure Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Love that guy.
So do you guys like when teams temporarily change their nicknames just for a couple of games? Like
I don't.
I think it's really dumb.
I do too. I think it's a bad publicity stunt to do.
Trash Pandas have done it. Trash Pandas have already got a really good, unique name, right?
It's very unique.
You're not talking about like the Los Padres versus the Los Dodgers.
that's different. But I mean, they're completely changing.
Yeah, for example, recent years, Winston-Salem Dash have played under the names Tobacco Beetles, the Hooch Pooches, and the High Pins. North Alabama's Rocket City Trash Pandas will alternate identities for 2 upcoming home games at Madison's Toyota Field on June 13th versus Southern League rival Pensacola. The Trash Pandas will play as the Bama Butts.
I don't like the sexual innuendo in both of these logos.
Oh, wow. For the June 14th game against the Wahoos, Trash Pandas will be the Alabama White Sauce. Now, obviously, the Bama Butts, Alabama White Sauce, both nods to North Alabama's strong barbecue roots.
Have you ever talked, not that you guys probably have these types of conversations, I occasionally do, but like people from outside Alabama that think all we do here is the white sauce? And I'm like, it's really just one region of Alabama.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get it in a lot of places. Well, you can get it around here.
It's like the red sauce is like 90% of what I see.
Yeah. I mean, you there's places around here. In fact, there's a famous one just 2 miles from us that is known for their smoked chicken and white sauce, but it's pretty rare even in Alabama. But it gets called Alabama white sauce everywhere.
Also on June 13th, Toyota Field's going to host the best pork butt cooking contest.
Okay,
Yeah, but you can do
now
that
you got
as
my
the tr-
attention.
And then the best white sauce on that Saturday.
You can do that as the Trash Pandas. You can do all of that. I'm not a fan of these uniforms or the changing of the logo nicknames.
Craig Robinson and Ice Cube had a kid with the Bama Butts.
I think so. White sauce might want to size up.
He might. Theater goers were in for an unfortunate surprise during a recent screening of the horror film Final Destination Bloodlines, which I think you guys saw, right, Tyler?
We did. We both, Tim and I both really liked it.
On May 19th, Fiamma Villaverde, 29 years old, went to see the new movie in Argentina with her 11-year-old daughter and a friend, according to a news outlet. However, when she sat down to watch the sixth flick in the popular Final Destination franchise, a portion of the ceiling in the theater fell on top of her.
This is art imitating life right here, I believe.
Man, this is great special effects.
Yes.
Villaverde told the outlet that towards the end of the movie, she heard a really loud noise. At first, she thought it was part of the movie because, quote, we were so involved, but then a huge piece fell on me. Now, fortunately, the collapsed ceiling, quote, didn't hit my head because I was leaning slightly over the armrest. Now, Villaverde asked for a refund for her ticket while waiting for an ambulance. She also said the theater manager asked her, quote, how do you want me to fix this? She said she was going to file a complaint. You guys tell me where this thing is going. She added she hasn't, quote, been to work in a few days.
I believe it's going to have some dollar signs and at least one comma. When you say at least one comma?
But it's in Argentina, right?
Oh, that's true.
Is that right? Did you say it was Argentina? I don't know what the rules are there.
Call me, Argentina.
I will tell you, the fire personnel, that's an American flag on it, isn't it?
That is.
Yeah.
Why were we? I'm confused.
I don't know if this is from the theater. Maybe this is.
The source I pulled the story from might have gotten a bad picture.
Yeah. Could have, Tyler. Yeah.
I looked and sorted by most recent pictures with,
Uh-huh.
with these keywords, and that's what I got.
Got to be honest, if that debris falls that front row, somebody's dead.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I was surprised until I saw the American flag at how professional looking their firefighters are.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of a South American look.
Like they've got a pail and they're just passing it down the line.
And a green hose. Yeah.
Fast food worker in Florida facing charges after he allegedly killed a customer. Never good. Police say a verbal dispute over a food order reportedly led to the shooting. Elijah Mackey, 23, appeared before a judge for the first time on Friday when he was given no bond. Now, according to court documents, shooting happened on Wednesday just after 10 p.m. Deputies responded to a Checkers restaurant. Customer was getting his food from the front window when he began arguing with a female employee and asked to speak with the manager. Witness said the customer wanted more mayonnaise packets with his order. However, the situation escalated, and authorities say surveillance video from Checkers shows Mackey climbing out of a drive-thru window and walking to the front of the restaurant to speak to the customer. Witness said the customer then made derogatory comment to Mackey. That's when the 23-year-old pulled out a handgun from his waistband, shot the man in the chest.
Okay, so he's working and cooking at Checkers with a handgun in his waistband.
Yes, not lose that, yeah.
Deputies said Mackey took off from the scene, but were able to find him hiding in a stairwell at the Celebration Suites a short time later. I don't know why they decided to check the Celebration Suites out.
Let's look here.
Customer was taken to a hospital where, here's where it gets bad, later died.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I mean, Checkers probably on life support as is.
Yeah,
this might put him under.
Yeah, this may pull the plug. I was more of a Rallies guy.
I was more of a Checkers.
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
What's
Same
the
fries.
difference? I thought it was just like a Carl's Jr. and Hardee's situation.
What, Checkers and Rallies?
Yeah.
No, but the difference is you never get a Carl's Jr. and a Hardee's in the same city.
Yeah.
Checkers and Rallies right down the street from each other.
Now, there was a Rallies very near our radio station back in the day, Tyler, and I would go there some.
Yeah, in Palisades.
In Palisades. You ever go to that Rallies?
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. Checkers was on the corner in Tuscaloosa, right around from my first house.
I always felt like
$2.12, 2 champ burgers and a water.
I always felt like I was not getting USDA meat.
Really, you suspect that might be the case with Rallies?
Did you?
I figured that pretty early in. I still
figure
don't know
if I'm going to pay $2 for 2 burgers, it's probably not going to be the highest end meat.
I saw one of the best challenges. This would have been a great bracket challenge. I don't think we would have been able to finish it, but I saw this guy the other day. 24 hours. He's got to drink 24 beers.
Okay, I'm out. Can't do it.
He's got to do a full marathon and 20 cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Can't do that.
And
Only thing I
were
do is 20
tapping out on the
cheeseburgers.
hot dogs.
I know.
Yeah.
Only thing I do is the 20 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, but he had 24 hours, and that was the problem. So the guy finished the beers. The beers wouldn't be a problem. I don't
It would
think
be for me. I couldn't do
the
it.
26 miles wouldn't be a problem because you just wouldn't run it. You'd walk it. The problem was cheeseburgers. So he finished the walk run. He finished the case of beer, and I think he was like 6 cheeseburgers short.
God, can you imagine how bad you'd feel?
Could you do it all at once?
Oh, he's
That's
doing
what-
it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
eating a burger and drinking a beer while walking 26 straight miles does not sound pleasant.
Like he got up, and I saw the video was like 2 minutes. In the morning, he ate like 4 cheeseburgers, 4 beers, and then he went out on the long journey walk. And after he was like, he's probably 20 beers in, 10 cheeseburgers, he was like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. The beer is what I couldn't do. I could walk the marathon if you'd allow me to do it. 26 miles.
That's all you
can walk it, yeah.
I'd eat
Balloon lady can walk it.
My fat butt would eat a cheeseburger while I'm walking.
Do you think you could do 20, though, in 24 hours?
I couldn't.
20 cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
God, that is a lot of food.
20 in 24 hours?
Yes.
I ate a later lunch yesterday, and I couldn't even eat dinner last night.
Yes. If I go much past noon on lunch, which I have to do often here, I'm really not that hungry at dinner.
Yeah, but if I had to do it, I could do it. I could do 5.
See, the beer is by far the
the
easiest part of this in 24
4 meals,
hours.
just eat 5. I could have 5 cheeseburgers.
But you're
breakfast,
talking about
5
like
for
the
lunch.
smallest McDonald's cheeseburger that they
Yeah,
have.
the one that Lance
single.
says they've changed the size on when I ate some up here that day.
They have changed the size. They've changed the size on a lot of stuff.
They're a little different. They're a little different.
Oregon man who quit his job at a tire company. This is a really cool story, by the way. Liquidated his retirement savings to set sail for Hawaii with his cat Phoenix. Reached his destination on Saturday, welcomed by cheering fans at the end of a week-long journey that he documented for his mass followers on social media. Now, Oliver Widger, who also was greeted by Hawaii Governor Josh Green at the Waikiki Yacht Club, acknowledged he was nervous facing the crowd, which included reporters. Widger said he was, quote, feeling really weird, not seasick. I just feel like I have to, hold on to things to not fall over.
Yeah.
Now, it became an online sensation with his story, which followed a diagnosis 4 years ago with a syndrome that carried a risk of paralysis, made him realize he disliked his managerial job, quit his job with, quote, no money, no plan, $10,000 of debt, and the goal of buying a sailboat selling around the world. Taught himself to sail mostly via YouTube, moved from Portland to the Oregon coast, spent months refitting the $50,000 boat he bought, set sail for Hawaii with Phoenix in late April, documenting their experiences for his more than 1 million followers on TikTok and 1.7 million followers on Instagram. I'm going to assume he made money doing this, right?
I would hope.
He thinks that his, quote, story, which made national headlines, resonated with people. I think a lot of people, quote, are, as you know, grinding at your job all day long. It doesn't really matter how much money you make at this point. Everybody's just trying to do enough to get by, and it just wears you out. It's just the world's in a weird place, and I think people have seen that it is possible to break out.
Seems like, he's not a bad-looking guy. Seemed like he had gotten a better-looking cat on the boat with him.
He's only 29.
Thought you were going a different route. Yeah, now what's he do? He's liquidated his retirement. He's got this boat. He's gotten to his destination.
Well, he might be paralyzed in a couple of years.
Well, that's true. You never know.
He's got 1 million viewers, too, though.
He does have that.
So he's got that going for him.
Yeah, which is nice.
He's going to cash in there.
Well, I bet that cat hated that journey.
I bet he did, too. But I was
scared to death.
I've told you guys about the vacation I took on whatever the lake is between the Texas and Oklahoma state line on a pontoon boat for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got off and showered in a normal place at the girl's apartment, it still felt like we were moving.
Oh, yeah. Hard to get your sea legs back.
Yeah, and that was just on a lake.
Water was choppy this weekend, and when I would get off, it would take 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. And that was just a lake. I was on it for 4 days. The ocean, I can't imagine how long it would take to get your equilibrium back. Big word for me. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our great friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And one more time with our friends at Hemphill. It is time now, LT, I'm warning you, 90s are coming. When all this rain is done, it's about to get hot.
Yes, you need to make sure your unit is ready to keep up with this changing weather. Our friends at Hemphill Services, they are there for you. 205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham's trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Any of these arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right. Thanks again, Sean, for the Tampa Bay Rays poncho. Worked out really good on a rainy day. I didn't bring a jacket in so I can walk to the car in this thunderstorm.
Perfect. Nobody will look funny at you at all.
Hey, everybody. Is it bad luck to wear a poncho inside?
It's a little late to ask that.
If I put it on backwards, would I die? It's like being in a bag. It gets sucked up. All right, we're back with you tomorrow. No pennant grace today. Ush is under the weather, but Braves and Phillies tonight. They'll have reaction on their social media, pennant grace for that, and then they're back with you Thursday with their normal show. But tonight, 5:45 TBS or wherever you get your Braves broadcast for Braves and Phillies in a big series with Acuña back. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.